supported by the likes of Wana Magaisa, Wana Baba Magaisa. We are so happy to see them. Thank you so much, Pet. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Yes, I have seen the Vice President has come in. I have given her the mic to come in as a speaker. So hopefully she will pick up the mic. So I've sent that to her. I also wanted to welcome Jessica, who's the co-host. Did you want to say hello before we formally start, Jessica?
Yes, thank you so much, host. Perhaps let me just in short say greetings to everybody. Thank you so much for coming through. I think this is a matter of importance, especially in the discourse which we are in, and how much, or let me say, so much is said when it comes to the role of women generally, let's say outside of the diaspora, how they participate in politics, how they participate in education, how they participate in corporate, how they participate in anything really, to be honest. So there has always been a matter of it has always been a matter of national importance, that we obviously need to take into consideration. And one thing I'm very proud of is that we do have a lot of capable women, and I'm glad that most of them, amongst the host and the co-host, even the VP herself, and so many others, we have women that are capable, women that are leading, women that are in positions, which are actually an inspiration to so many other younger women. So I think this is very important to talk about, and the role of women in diaspora, what women in diaspora can actually do to contribute towards their own political or their own freedom to be expressive. They obviously need to play a part, and we will not sit and watch that being given to us on a silver platter. We will not allow us, or will not allow women to just be on the sidelines and obviously not do much in terms of actually delivering the Zimbabwe they want. Because it's one thing to have a Zimbabwe we all want, it's another thing to have a Zimbabwe women want. So I think it plays a very important role. So thank you so much, host. So once again, greetings to everyone. We're looking forward to participation and to hear from our speakers.
Thank you very much for all of that, Jessica. I am going to have to reintroduce myself because I think we've had more people come onto the platform. My name is Patricia Chinyoka. Welcome to the MDC Alliance Diaspora Affairs Twitter Spaces conversation. I have just sent the speaker link to the Vice President. If she's not picking up, please could you kindly request and I will bring you onto the platform as a speaker. But I wanted us to do something quite important before we get started. We want to pause for a minute and extend our condolences to the Gondokondo family and the MDC Alliance Republic of Ireland and North District on the untimely passing of leader Rita Gondokondo, who was laid to rest today in Zimbabwe. Leader Rita held the role of organizing secretary for the Dublin branch in the Republic of Ireland. She was a very hardworking cadre, very committed to the fight for freedom in Zimbabwe. And she was due to have attended one of our events in the coming couple of months. So it's really sad to have heard of her passing. She will be sadly missed, and we pray that God would comfort her family and all of her associates during this very difficult time. So thank you, everyone, for that. If we could just pause for a minute. Thank you, everyone. Can I ask the Vice President to please use a laptop, a mobile phone. So if you are on a laptop, can I ask you to join in using a mobile phone? That will make it very easy for you to access the mic. I don't think it's possible to access it via the laptop. But I am going to continue. So our topic tonight, which Jessica already started talking on, is inclusive democracy in Zimbabwe politics, the role of women in the diaspora. And we are really waiting to hear from the Vice President talk to us about some of her views and thoughts and thinking and what the landscape looks like in Zimbabwe currently and what the future aspirations are with regard to inclusion in politics in Zimbabwe.
Patricia, maybe before we start, we have Dr. Amai Kwerere. She has a word for the listeners. Let's just give her maybe 5 minutes or so.
Yes, thank you. I was going to come to her. Thank you so much.
Okay.
So before the VP speaks, but I also wanted to say that we are so delighted to everyone for having taken the time to come and engage in this very important conversation with us this evening. The topic of inclusion is very important because everybody wants to feel heard and listened to. But alongside that is hearing how diasporans can help in the cause for fight for freedom in Zimbabwe. We have an amazing lineup of female leaders from within the MDC Alliance leadership and others from civic society who are all very committed to the cause for freedom and working for the good of Zimbabwe. So in between hearing from all of our different guest speakers, Dr. Kore, who has a special function today, will be coming in and out as the speakers speak to come and lead on our fundraising initiative. So before I welcome the president, I'm going to ask Dr. Kore to come in, but I need to know your handle so I can bring you on as a speaker. I'm just looking for you here.
I've invited the
Okay, so if she can accept the speaker, Mike, that would be helpful.
She's using Dr. Maifa, so you can also invite her from that side. But I invited her. I'm not sure whether she saw the speaker, the mic.
Okay, that's fine. I'll do that. And I also just wanted to say for logistics, so please don't ask for the mic. We will come back to you once. Once Dr. Kore has spoken, we will come back to you to ask you to speak. And also, if you lose connectivity at any point, if any of us please do come back and join us just in case something happens. But we hope that doesn't happen tonight. So Dr. Kore, please can you request the mic because I can't see you. Dr. Kore, please request the mic.
Host, perhaps if we could also have the Vice President, because I keep trying to invite her.
She's not. Okay, no, that's fine. So I think we're just going to push ahead now. So to everyone, please join me in welcoming the Vice President of the MDC Alliance, Honorable Karenyi Kore, to come and address us and to speak to us. And I think I need to bring her back on as a speaker because she had come on and then she dropped off. So we're going to try and bring her back on again. If she can't pick up the mic, can she request and then we can allow her. Do you want to try, Jessica? Try and see if you can pick her up.
That's fine. Perhaps it could be connectivity issues. So, VP, if you can hear me, could you kindly exit the space, completely shut down your Twitter, and then you can open it once again, because it might actually be that she's trying, and because of connectivity issues, she might not be coming through. So if you can just exit Twitter and just close the application, and then get in again, it should work perfectly fine. So maybe while she's also trying, let me take this opportunity to say welcome to some of our leaders. I see Leader Cecilia is also here. Dr. Chipodender is here. There's so many people that I see here. Thank you so much, and welcome to our space where we are going to be discussing about inclusive democracy in Zim politics. Yes, over to your host. I will try and help the VP. Perhaps let me just try to help her from behind the scenes.
Thank you so much. Please do go ahead and do that, Jessica, because we would like her to speak first. I mean, there's a long lineup of leaders across all of the different organs of the party, but I think we would like to have the Vice President speak to us first, and then we can invite all the other speakers to come and share their thoughts on the topic of today, and also to tell us what they are doing and what they hope to see from ourselves who live in the diaspora, and how we can help and be leading in supporting the cause back home. If Dr. Kore was here, she would have been able to step in and speak whilst we wait for the Vice President to come in. So thank you so much.
Yeah, Pet. I can't see Dr. Kore here. I think she's also having connectivity problems. Also, the national chairperson of the Assembly of Women, Honorable Machira Irwamugido, is also having connectivity problems. It's just simply a message. She's one of our speakers also. Let's hope she's gone. She will be able to connect. Where she is, there's no electricity in Zimbabwe. So these are some of the challenges that the women in Zimbabwe are facing. Thank you so much, Beth.
Thank you. So it looks like we're going down the line of all of our speakers. So it was the Vice President, Dr. Kore, was going to speak next. Mai Mkindo was going to follow. Hopefully, we'll be able to get the President on. Oh, fantastic. She's here now. So welcome, Vice President. Please, can I just hand over the mic to you at this stage? Please unmute yourself and speak. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Are you hearing me?
Yes, clearly, VP.
Leader Barbara, how are you? And I don't know the host. Is it Jessica, Barbara, and the other one thing? How are you, Patricia?
How are you,
Patricia?
Very well, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very, very much. I think I don't know who is there in terms of protocol. May I recognize, I see Leader Barbara. And Leader Barbara, who else is there for hierarchy, Pedro?
There's we've got our National Youth Deputy Organ Netai. She's here. We've got so the commander of the youth, the acting Cecilia Chimbiri, is here. We've got Chief Soshe, the chairperson of the National North America province, is here. That's far I can see, and the chairperson of our branches, I can see they are here, but they are using the party logos as their names, so I can't see exactly who is here. And we also have civic societies that are here. We also have our own Alex Timagaisa is also here. And the diaspora community that is hosting this event, they are all here, VP.
Thank you, Leader Barbara. And may I recognize the Diaspora Affairs working with our MDC assemblies and the citizens and everyone here present. And Rekaindi Kuchingamidei, our leaders, Leader Netai, Leader Cecilia, Chief Shoshe, and everyone. Maybe I don't know if I'm Indian, but ndinokugamuchirai ende ndinozviremekedza zvikuru ndishiwa pasi penyu kuti nhasi izuva ramandipa kuti nditaure neruzhinji rwezimbabwe nevari kunze kwenyika. I also want to appreciate Dr. Magaisa vandavanzwa kuti vari pano and all others who I think who are here present. I know with all your hierarchy and some are doctors, nurses, and some are for a long time. The electorate out there. So I want to appreciate and I want to humble myself before you. Before I speak on this topic, which is inclusive democracy, and mainly we are going to touch on the role of women in the diaspora, and not only the women, because I know, yes, the roles for women are plenty, but we cannot do without men on our side. That's why we have got prominent men here present, and those feminists. Have we lost the Vice President? I really appreciate and I salute you because I know without you we cannot go anywhere, and I know good you support us because in the social, economic and political sphere out there, we cannot climb the ladder without your help. And I'm one of the brand product from the support including my president. So I salute you all, and I want to thank you very, very much for joining us. Without wasting much of your time, I would like to touch some roles which I think are very, very important, especially focusing on the role of women in the diaspora. And our target come 2023 election is 6 million votes. And we cannot achieve 6 million votes without playing our roles in Zimbabwe and outside Zimbabwe. And one of the role of the women out there in the diaspora, I know very well Kutitinema Rose Akawanda, but I strongly feel that we cannot do without advocacy and alternative policy development. So I strongly feel that as a social democratic party, we believe one of our values and one of our principles is inclusiveness. And what I know is, as a party, we cannot do anything without the inclusion of everyone, and without the involvement of women, and without the involvement of young girls, Vakoma and Nevaskana out there. That is the reason why my president, Advocate Nelson Chamisa, always talk about the issue of inclusivity. And that is why he always involves the issue of general citizens. We know very well that the citizens are the key stakeholders for this process. And he always say, in all our decision-making processes, we must include everyone, and which include the diaspora out there. So I want to thank you so much for joining this space. And the role of women in the diaspora, I strongly feel that you have got a lot to do. And allow me to acknowledge the work you have been doing as women out there. I know most of the women out there have done a lot for this party. You have played a lot. Some have partnered with us in the fundraising, and I think of late I've realized that everyone is included in this vehicle. And tiri kuona zvakawanda ye fundraised for my PA system, for my flyers, for everything. And I want to say thank you so much. You have helped us back home to make sure that this vehicle, famba zvakanaka. You always sustain the economy. You always support, and sometimes you subsidize the economy of Zimbabwe. And I really want to appreciate, because without you, we cannot go anywhere. Coming to the advocacy and alternative policy development, which I've mentioned, I know very well that if you advocate for a diaspora out there, for a diaspora vote, I know we can do it. You have to make noise out there so that you put pressure to your governments. I know very well those who are in UK, in Australia, in Canada, everywhere there. If you make noise and put pressure to those governments, it will also make them to hear our cry and to hear what we want. And I know very well that after those pressures, obviously, we can have some alternative policies which can also help us back home. Give an example, I can mention the issue of UK Parliament. You always hear them putting Zimbabwe on the map, talking about the human rights abuses, talking about what is happening in Zimbabwe. So if you put pressure now, I know and I strongly feel that it will also help to make sure that we also come up with alternative policies, which will also help us as a party, because we are also a party which is waiting to take power to get into government. So we cannot just get in empty-handed. So with these alternative policies, I know we can go very far. And I also want to say, the other role which I strongly feel that you can do as women out there is the issue of selling the brand. I know out there, if you start now to sell the brand, I know we can go far. You can sell our brand, and when I talk about our brand, I'm talking about the advocate, Nelson Chamisa. What I know is if anyone is selling his or her products, obviously you sell it with passion. You make sure that you put everything in it, you put every spices in it, you put everything which you know, but if I go and market this out there, people will resonate with my brand. People will start to say, you are talking of democracy, you are talking of human rights, you are talking of the issue of observing the rule of law. I think I must partner with this party, because I know very well good they are selling these policies. So if you are out there, your role as women is to make sure that you market our brand, you sell our brand. How are you going to do it? I know very well kuti imimi out there as women, as varume, as vakomana, as vasikana. I know very, very well kuti you have got this freedom of association and freedom of assembly, unlike us. You go for Twitter. You know you've got Twitter spaces, you've got Facebook spaces, some have got some other pages. I know very well even the airtime. You don't complain airtime like what we do. So you have got all the time and all the energy to market our brand out there. When you market your product, I know very, very well, people will start to say, let's support this brand. Let's support this brand. And if you support our brand, I know very, very well we will go very, very far. And I want to touch on the issue of the inclusiveness. I know very well that when you are marketing the brand, you must also talk about the issue of inclusivity, so that people will start to resonate with our brand. When you talk about our brand, you must market our brand very, very well. What I know is if you market our brand very well, I know very, very well we will get there. And kana mato tanga kumarketa, I know very well kuti zvinhu zvedu zvinofamba. I also want to touch on the other role that you can also influence the issue of inter-party democracy system. I know the international best practice out there makes you can also talk about it. You can also talk about the issue of having dialogue with these inter-party democracies. You can also talk about the programs, like, for example, you can talk about the issue of Madzimai achipinda into this inter-party dialogue, so that if they go there, they can also exchange their ideas. They can also learn from there. So another role is make sure that you influence that inter-party democracy system. I think the other role is for you to build this movement. How are you going to build it? You know, if you build it, we will get there. You can build this movement through these alliances, the churches, the other organization out there, so that as the diasporians, you can also help to move the movement. I know very well you rub shoulders with prominent people with influence. So if you talk to them, obviously they will also start to associate themselves with us. I want to talk with the other role, which I think is very, very important to be played by the women out there. The issue of fundraise. The issue of fundraise, I've already mentioned that I acknowledge what we have done. You have done very, very well. And what I want to say is you have helped the party in so many ways. However, I strongly feel that your role is in fundraising will make us go far. I want to mention about the issue. We are now focusing on the issue of the by-election. The by-election back home cannot be a success if we don't fundraise. So one of your role is to make sure that you fundraise. How are you going to fundraise? You are going to fundraise for voter registration. You are going to fundraise for voter education. Some would say, how do you want us to do it? And I want to say, you can fundraise in terms of finance. Some would you could partner in terms of vehicles. Because when you go to register people, some people can walk 10 kilometers away from their home to go and register. So we want money to make sure that, or we want some vehicles or want fuel to make sure that we ferry our people from point A to point B. Because without them registering to vote, obviously we are not going to reach our target of 6 million votes. So your role is to make sure that you fundraise. When you fundraise, we can educate women on the issue of why is it important for you to vote. It is important for you to vote because if you go and vote, it means you have speak out. It means you have gone to the ballot booth and say, I want to vote for Nelson Chamisa. So if you don't register to vote, it means you have voted for the other party. So for you to vote, you have to go and register. So part of the fundraising will go towards the issue of educating these women, educating everyone back home to say it is important for you to vote. You cannot talk of poor governance without voting. You cannot talk of my roads are shatter. You cannot talk of my hospitals are dilapidated. You cannot talk of the education child sector ya parara. You cannot talk for our children who are going to school, but not after school they will go to work. So you can just have this program to say, if you educate these women to say, if you go and vote, it means you are going to vote for a job for your child. If you go and vote, it means you've gone there to say we want better rights, we want better life, we also want better education, we also want everything which is better for us. So I think this money will go towards that to make sure that everyone go and win. Another role is to lobby. How are you going to lobby? I think women out there in the diaspora, you can lobby your other colleagues out there. You can approach other organizations. You can approach the other sectors. And when you go there to lobby, You are simply convincing people to say, you have got your families back home. They have to register. They have to participate. And you can also go there and try to lobby. For example, if you go to the United Nations and say, we need people to respect the rule of law in Zimbabwe, how are you going to partner with us? How are you going to partner? Some would say, fine, we are going to partner you in funding through the World Bank or the IMF, and they can fund the issue of the capacitation of women in the rural areas. They can capacitate people about the issue of the girl child, the abuses of young girls in schools. So all those programs will come through lobbying, because you'll be going there to say, we are lobbying for this. One of the other role is to make sure that you influence democracy. You have to go there and make sure that you influence. I can cite one good example of the Amnesty International. If you go there and lobby as the people in the diaspora, it means you are also engaging them. You are also engaging them, and you are also speaking about the Zimbabwean story. If you don't speak about the story in Zimbabwe, no one will know. I know very well that some would say, Zimbabwe things are okay, because they don't know what is happening in Zimbabwe. But if you now go there and lobby these organizations in these forums, people will start to listen to Zimbabwe. You can also go there to say, how are we going to help women out there who are living in tents? How are we going to help women there who are having these problems? So if you go there, you are now lobbying for this program, the poverty alleviation. How are they going to help the Zimbabweans? If they come to Zimbabwe, how are they supposed to help us? So you are going to speak about Zimbabwe. You'll be influencing them. You'll be talking about the issues of women, about the issues of other people in Zimbabwe. The other role is to make sure that you also create this citizen initiative. You go out there to make sure that if you raise funds, those funds will be owned by the citizens. You go there to fight for the less privileged. You go there to fight for the orphans. And without you women in the diaspora speaking about Zimbabwe, no one is going to know about what is happening in Zimbabwe.
Okay, we seem to have lost the Vice President. So whilst we wait for her to reconnect, I just wanted to take the opportunity to acknowledge Vice President Welshman Ncube. I have seen him here in the house. Welcome, and thank you so much for joining us. And hopefully the Vice President will come back and she will also acknowledge you.
And also, hello.
Yes, Barbara, we can hear you.
Yes, I would also like to recognize our Minister of Diaspora Affairs, Honorable Clifford Hlahla-Jwayo, who is also here, but today he said he's going to listen whilst he will listen as whilst he's tuning into Change Radio. We also forgot to tell you, the listeners, that this program is being streamed live on Change Radio, Facebook, and Change Radio, YouTube. So we just have to let the listeners know this. That's all I can say, Pet.
Thank you so much for that. And I also wanted to acknowledge that we have Hoko Chingono. I have seen him here. We have our National Youth Chair, Obey Stole. I have seen him here. So we just want to acknowledge you all. I now can't see Vice President Honorable Karenyi Kore. She seems to have dropped off, so she'll probably come back in again. But thank you.
She's here.
Okay.
She's here as a listener. Let me give you the mic. We also want to recognize the presence of our sister, Sister Dangarembwa. I saw her. She's here. Okay, thank you. Yes, if we could try and get her back to come and speak, please, because I think she hadn't finished. And after she's finished speaking, we'll open the floor to some questions. And then following that, hopefully Dr. Kore will be here and would like to give her the mic so that she can talk about the fundraiser initiative. And so while we wait for Vice President Karenyi Kore to come back, I'm going to reintroduce myself again. I'm Patricia Chinyoka, and I have a role within the NDC Alliance European Island Province as the spokesperson or communication secretary. So welcome to everyone that's joined after we had started. And for logistics, we are not giving the speaker mic to people at the moment until the Vice President and Dr. Kore have finished speaking. Thank you. So we'll try and see if we can get the Vice President back on again. So whilst we're waiting, it seems like there's so many connectivity issues this afternoon. So it's something that is out of our ability to fix. But while we are waiting, Dr. Kore, if you are here, please request the mic, and we will ask you to come and speak. I also saw that leader Cecilia Chimbiri had taken the mic, but she too seems to have dropped off. So it seems that there's so many issues this afternoon. I wonder if one of the co-hosts could try and see if they can bring back Cecilia Chimbiri.
I'll do that from behind distance. Thank you so much. But VP Kore is here. VP, please go ahead while I try to contact Leader Cecilia. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. I also want to touch the issue of, I was talking about the issue of the exchange programs. The other role I think is the issue that you can also try by all means to twin our assemblies back home. You can also twin the assembly of women, you can twin the youth, you can twin every branch. Oh. Okay, have we lost her again? You are going to make sure that you sponsor that word. You sponsor a polling station so that they defend their own vote. How are you going to sponsor? You are going to partner with them so that you can even help them to maybe to give some remunerations or to give some kind of support with the phone or anything, the flyers or anything, so that these people will defend their votes. So I encourage you so that you partner with your the voter registration and also with your polling station back home. It also helps so that when you partner with them, and also make sure that you help the party in terms of logistics and also in terms of trying to make sure that we defend our votes. The other issue is to make sure that you also have, maybe I can say, you can also create some spaces to make sure that you also have these demonstrations. You can have these peaceful demonstrations in the embassies, the Zimbabwean embassies that are out there. It's good that you give pressure. It's good that you give pressure. You know, we have got these abuses. You know, home, the issues of the girls, the trio have been abused, the issue of the human rights abuses, the issue of my death, the issue of I strongly think that if you go and put pressure in these embassies, it will also create a voice out there. They will talk about in their parliaments, they will talk about in every space, so that you can also help here to put pressure. Because you know you've got this freedom of association and freedom of assemblies. Unlike us home, but you've got all these spaces, women. You must utilize them so that when you do it, everything will be better for us, especially for Maripumba. Another issue, your role is to inform. You have to inform women out there and women who know back to Zimbabwe. You can give them information because you have got all the spaces. I have already talked that Munema Twitter space, Munema Facebook space, so you can do it. How are you going to do it? And if someone would say, it's not relevant information, it will also help to inform women. It will also give people power. It will also empower women to make sure that they also know about handitombodzuti ndotipo makansila dzangu nema-MP namba zvese ndochitaura kupi akomana ndisiri pafoni yangu iyoyo ndogona kuti ndaona ndichazviita sei isai pafoni yangu.
If you can unmute your mic. Yes, Honorable, please go ahead, VP.
Yeah. So I was talking about the issue of information. It's good for you ladies out there to give women information because they've got all the resources to do it. You can also try by all means to make sure that you also take these spaces in when we talk about the issue of women out here. The other issue which I strongly feel that you ladies, you can also help us in the diaspora. We have talked about the issues of our key 5 issues. One of the key 5 is the issue of action, the citizen action change. You must educate these women. What are we talking about it? We are talking about mobilizing women for change. We are talking about the issue of the current health issues in Zimbabwe, education citizen in Zimbabwe, an issue of recruiting women for change, issues about converting a registered voter to a voter. Because just registering doesn't mean anything. You must convert it into voter. So all this will be done through these spaces. I can also talk about the issue of community action. Talk about community action. Tell them how are they going to do visibility programs. They can do the door-to-door. They can do cleanup campaign, home visits. The other issue, they can also take action for alternative government. We have already talked about them. The issue of action for reforms. You must talk about it. It's one of your roles to make sure that people have got their rights to vote, especially the diaspora vote. We can also talk about the issue of automatic registration. Talk about it. Why do we want it? Why do we want this credible voters roll? Why do we want biometric voters roll? Why do we want security of a person? Why do we want security of materials? Why do we want to manage this system? Why do we want media reforms? So you can go on and on. You can even talk of global action for change. Talk about it. The issue of engaging the global village. This is what we are talking about. The issue of about it. And here we are talking about the issue of the citizen process. And we cannot do without the diasporans. And what I want to share with you is, without you girls out there, we cannot do Shakanaka Muzimbabwe. Because imimi kunze ikoko ndimi mune numbers, and I want to say, if you fundraise, if you go for an election without fundraising, I know very well that we will not go there. We cannot do without numbers. So this game is going to be a game of numbers. We must make sure that these registered voters will turn into millions. Will turn into millions to make sure that they go and vote. Last time we ran the issue about Muru, we were just talking about to say, educate Wanamai Arikuku. Before I know you take money for your children and for your relatives out here. Just have few meetings, few minutes to educate them to say, yes, we are sending money to you, but we want to come back home. So you are supposed to encourage them. Everyone must be a registered voter. And please educate them. And I also want to make sure that they say we go out in numbers. I've got also a program which I called the issue of Jokawiyamwe. I know very well that Oliver Mtubuzi once said, Kurumura pandaka kuita goreria, pandaka kusira ndipapo Jokawiyamwe. But I want to go further to say, Kurumura kuya it's even worse. Shop ya wakasiya in Kuwadzana, it's no longer there. The roads which you used to go, which Ifamba Zvakanaka, is full of potholes. I know Mkoma Hope will always talk about the issue of corruption. Talk about it. Tell them, this government is corrupt, mama. You have to go and register and you have to vote. And I know very well the writers, I thank you so much, Titi is here, Nambarebo. You must continue to speak about what is better for us as Zimbabweans. And I want to say, let's go out there, let's take action and make sure that we also include everyone in the diaspora to make sure that we also include everyone. And I want to end by saying the aim of inclusion is to embrace everyone, irrespective of race, gender, disability, and everyone. And I want to make sure that we include everyone. And that's why our party is very, very clear to talk about inclusiveness. It is about giving equal space, opportunities. And I want to say, thank you very, very much. And let's reach our target of 6 million votes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vice President Hon Karenyi Kore, for those powerful conversation and ways in which you have spoken to us to encourage the diaspora in telling the story of Zimbabwe, and also the importance of voter education and how we can influence, and the privilege that we have as people that live in the diaspora, and how we have access to some of the largest of organizations and other political parties that we can reach out to and talk to and tell that story. And I think later on I'm going to plug in the president, the film that talks about the fight for democracy in Zimbabwe, because I think it links in quite nicely with regard to the influencing and telling our story and lobbying for the world to know who we are, the challenges we face, but more importantly, how we can help to support the cause for the fight for freedom in Zimbabwe. And we mustn't underplay the importance of political inclusion when no voice is left unheard, no one left behind. Everybody has that opportunity to be able to participate in all the electoral and political processes. But I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to open up the floor for some questions to the Vice President. And I also wanted to share that in terms of the questions tonight is a female-led asking women to come forward and ask questions, because tonight we have a fundraiser initiative. We are asking that all our male allies who are going to speak are going to be speaking only to tell us how much they're going to be supporting towards the fundraiser. And Dr. Kore, who we are waiting upon, is going to come, and she's going to talk more in detail about the fundraiser. And we'll then ask our male allies who are here, thank you so much for joining, to be able to support in that regard.
Yes, Pat, before we take any questions, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes, before we take any questions, I've just handed over the mic to Chief Soshe. He's not going to speak, but he's going to connect Dr. Karenyi Kore for us, because she's having connectivity problems. So Karenyi Kore will be speaking through Chief Soshe. So don't be surprised when you see Chief Soshe speaking. He's not the one who is going to speak. Thank you. We also want to recognize the presence of our dear daughter, Namatai Kopeza. We welcome you to this program. Thank you so much for joining us. Over to you, Pet.
Thank you. So shall we wait then for Dr. Kore to speak before we open up the floor? If she's here now, if she can speak, would really be delighted for that.
Host, let me also take this opportunity perhaps to say if anybody has a question or feel that there is something that is pressing, please feel free to DM or put a hashtag and say role of women in diaspora, and then we should be able to pick it up and try and have your questions answered, because I do understand that, or we do understand rather, that it's not everybody who would like to speak out, but if you have something you'd like to say or question that you'd like to ask, feel free to DM or to put the hashtag. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that, Jessica. So I think Dr. Kore is here now. So when you're ready, please do go ahead, Dr. Kore, and welcome.
Thank you very much. I would like to extend an apology to everyone here present because of technical problems. I've been listening but failing to request a mic. So I apologize for that delay in coming on. My name is Diaspora. I am in North America, MDC province, where I am the vice chair lady for Women's Assembly, and I'm also the education portfolio secretary. So I also am a mother for the assembly and a grandmother, because from what the previous speakers have said, culture is an important part of inclusive democracy. So if we don't teach our children to value our Zimbabwean culture, we are going nowhere. So we major in that in North America province. We include that as a party, and even in our families. For example, I have grandchildren who are what we would call in Zimbabwe Makarati. Their dad is white, typical American. Mom is my daughter. But the children, I teach them Shona, and I teach them to respect. And even in their schools, the teacher has never had problems in behavior because we instill Ubuntu in them. So we also take them to Zimbabwe whenever it's possible so that they appreciate where we are coming from. They appreciate their economy, everything about Zimbabwe, the struggles that we go through. They have to see it, so we are not like shielding them or protecting them to say, no, Zimbabwe is struggling, so we can't take you there. We take them there so that they appreciate and they can also help in the struggle. And above all, our Vice President, Karenyi Kore, when she came to America in 2019, she taught us about her own project that she started when she was head of Women's Assembly. The Zokauyamwe concept, the Moune Muru concept, we use it in America. Husbands, wives, children, we encourage the whole family to be part of the assembly so that when we have our functions and events, we are working as a team. So in North America, we take part as women in fundraising, in also helping the Women's Assembly back home, but we don't do it alone. North America works as a team. If the women have an initiative, the whole province will rally behind them. And if the youth have a project, we also rally behind them. So it's teamwork. So when we come to fundraising, number one, I want to first of all appreciate and thank everybody for contributing towards the PAC. Some of you have seen videos, some of you have listened to audios where the PA system has already been presented to our President, Advocate Nelson Chamisa. It's this platform that raised funds for that PA system. And thank you so much, Siabonga, Tinotenda, to everybody that donated towards that. And we also thank all well-wishers. So without wasting much time, this morning or this evening, depending on where you are, we have a project ahead of us. We did well with the PA system. Now we need to raise funds for a printer. And this printer is not an ordinary printer. It's going to print party cards. It's going to print flyers, posters. It's going to be very useful towards the elections. People need information when we go to buy elections. People need information when we go to the elections in 2023. We have to make sure that Mkomana anopinda. And to support this, we need to campaign. We need the printer. And some people need party cards, depending on their situation. Some want to use them for specific applications. So this printer is important. So we are today supposed to raise about only $4,000. I realize there are many of us here on this platform, and if we all contribute as little as $50 each, $30 each, we will be able to fundraise. And we have a link that we are going to share where the monies are going to be deposited. So, personally, I paid $100 during this week. Today, I'm going to add another $30 to make $130 towards that printer. So the only people who are going to request a mic now are people who want to donate. And this is where we want to even hear male voices showing that Tinana Baba on this platform, leading us by example. And this printer is going to help women too, because we have women candidates that campaign to hold political positions. And we really encourage this. We want women to fully participate. So let's start contributing. I will start by putting in my $30 to make it $120. So I'll put in my money right now, and anybody who wants to contribute should start requesting the mic. But I want to volunteer Dr. Ranga to be the best one to speak and donate. It's my son, Manoura Blango. So I know he will support this initiative. Could you please give the mic to Dr. Ranga?
Thank you so much, Dr. Kore, for opening up the floor for the fundraiser initiative to start. Can Dr. Ranga please request the mic, because there's quite a lot of people here, and I can't see. And can I just say to okay, I'll find him. And can I just also say to our other speakers, more blessing, please can you switch off your mic? We are going to come to you to ask you to speak later on, just not yet. And to our male allies, please, we will give you the mic if you are donating. So it is just for you to come on, make your donation, but it is not to speak per se, as tonight is really female-led. And we want the women to be leading tonight. So thank you so much for that and for your understanding. So Dr. Ranga, please can you request the mic, or tell me what your handle is and I will give you the mic to speak. That would be helpful. If you can inbox or do something, that would really be helpful to us. So whilst we are waiting for all of that, I would really appreciate it if we could bring back Honorable Karenyi Kore to come and take some questions from the people, because I think we did say that we were going to open the floor for a few questions and would like people to have that opportunity to ask the Vice President some questions.
She says she's having connectivity issues, so I'm just trying to assist her. But I think I saw Dita Cecilia. She was here just now. I'm not sure if she's still a speaker. Maybe you can try and just give her an opportunity while I try to assist the VP from behind the scenes. Thank you.
Thank you. So she was here, but she's gone off. She's also having a lot of connectivity issues. I don't know if the National Deputy Secretary for Elections, Mrs. Shiriedenga, I don't know if she's here. She was also meant to speak, and so we can give her the mic if she wants to speak. There's a few requests there by people that want to speak. Please make sure if you are a male ally that you're coming on to give us your pledge and then to come off the platform. Thank you. So I will ask, Dr. Ranga is here. So I'll give you the speaker. So go ahead, Dr. Ranga. So Dr. Ranga was here. He seems to have dropped off as well because he had requested and he was the speaker. Okay, so he seems to have dropped off.
Yeah, I can go ahead, Pet, if you allow me to.
Yes, please.
Simuka, mzimai, simuka.
Simuka. Simuka.
Simuka, mzimai, simuka.
Simuka.
For that slogan, I'll put in my $100 right away.
Thank you very much for that generous donation. We really appreciate it. Thank you. I'm just going to...
Hello, Patricia.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, our national chair lady is totally failed to join us, but he has said something, she's written something. Maybe can I read what she has written for us? At least, even if she failed to join us, but she's made an effort to write us something. As the national chairperson of the Assembly of Women, my Wenyika. Maybe she's saying, my name is Machira Irwamugido. I'm the Nelson Chamisa-led MGC Alliance chairperson of the Assembly of Women. This entails a number of responsibilities, amongst which promoting women's participation in leadership and decision-making in both the public and private affairs is one of them. Working towards the elimination of laws and statutes that discriminate against women, as well as promoting the recognition of women's rights is also my responsibility. To influence, mobilize, and encourage others to participate in the electoral and voter registration processes in Zimbabwe. As the Assembly of Women, we are collecting information of those who have not yet registered and forwarding to ERC so that they are registered, as well as encouraging individuals and school leavers to go and register. The exercise will result in many individuals being registered to vote, and we are certain that with our numbers, we will win the election and attain state power. Mobilization and recruitment is an ongoing process, so the Assembly continues to engage and lure supporters through programs which vary from door-to-door, kitchen meetings, prayers, mainly since the regime will not allow us to hold huge activities citing the COVID-19 pandemic. We are also formulating branches and street and village committees, giving positions to newly recruited members. In as far as assisting in the March by-elections, and for 2023, we are currently identifying and fielding female candidates for the elections, including young women, for example, Kwekwe Central, where we have a female youth, Judith Tomaiwa. All being said and done, to the women and men in the diaspora, we request for support financially and materially
in order to succeed in our campaigns and elections, we need posters, flyers, transport, etc. Since the economy is at its comatose, which most of our candidates being recalled office bearers, there is also need to provide security for our candidates as they are all posed to be victorious, which is the great threat to the regime. Calling urgent training is of utmost importance to avoid rigging. We hope men and women in the diaspora will take our requests and assist like they always do, and we are very grateful. Please do not tire and continue to assist us. We thank you. Having said that, after reading my chairperson statement, I hereby contribute $1 towards this fund. Can I have the link?
Thank you so much. So the link is pinned to this tweet. Jessica has pinned the link. So for everybody that would like to speak, particular to our male allies, if you could kindly go and make your donation and then come back and tell us how much you have donated. So you can do it either way, pledge and go and make it, or make the donation and come back and tell us how much you have donated. We now have Mrs. Ellen Chiriedega, the National Deputy Secretary for Elections. She's here, so I'm going to hand over the mic to her so she can talk to us. Okay, Mrs. Chiriedega, can you hear me? Thank you.
All right, thanks. Thank you so much. I can hear you loud and clear. Thank you for this opportunity. My apologies. I joined in slightly late, but I managed to get to listen to what VP Kore spoke about, and also my Guido's contribution. I think they've comprehensively covered the topic. I'll just make a few additions, particularly from the election side, of which I'm one of the leaders there, being the Deputy Secretary for Elections for the MDC Alliance. As a party, we are targeting 6 million votes for the 2023 elections. And if you look at, the voters' roll, women contribute over 53%, and that is a very, very important aspect of our role, and also it gives an indication of the contribution of women in all these democratic spaces. And however, that indication is not reflected in terms of women occupying spaces where they are political influences. For example, you go to parliament, the representation of women there. You go to local government, which is women contribute about just over 33% women in local government, and it does not correlate to the demographic contribution of women onto our voters' roll. So that is the biggest challenge which we women have to grapple with. And we are saying, yes, as much as Zimbabwe has comprehensive laws with regards to gender, equal gender representation, but that is not reflected in actual practice. And that is one area where women need to help each other on, to say how best can we actually, increase the numbers of women in these democratic spaces. And also looking at the target for the MDC Alliance, to say we are targeting 6 million voters for come 2023 election. What is our contribution of women, towards attaining that vote? VP Kore was clear to say that yes, you might come up with a very rigorous voter registration campaign, but then at the end of the day, translating those registered voters into actual votes is another story. So that is one area where we are saying we women need to sit down whether we are in Zimbabwe or not in Zimbabwe, in the diaspora, that is one challenge that we have to grapple with. For starters, we need to increase our margin, the numbers of people in the voters' roll. There's a voter registration blitz coming up as from the 1st of February to the 28th, then another second phase on the 11th of April to the 30th of April. And those are some of the areas to say what is our contribution as women towards the voter registration drive. And we women, we have children that have just turned 18, and not just parents that are in Zimbabwe, but even the diasporans as well. That is your responsibility too, to say back home, you inculcate that, that culture of ensuring that our children, our family members, partake in these issues that have a bearing on their lives. So to just do some voter education, we'll be having our voter education drive targeting not just the locals, but even outsiders as well, because we have influences, not just in your community, in your families, but within your communities as well. Someone, for example, you go to places like Ngai, they've got plenty of relatives in South Africa. So, they come back home every end of the year, and they use that opportunity because those are the people that are the breadwinners, and at the end of the day, they need to get some recognition. Also, there is the aspect of the electoral reforms. As the MDC, one of our action programs is the Action for Reforms. We're looking at the issues to do with political reforms and electoral reforms. And we as the MDC Alliance, we have always said, the diaspora vote is key. We have over 3 million Zimbabweans that are out there. And they have, even the Minister of Finance, he said in 2020, the diasporans, they contributed over $1 billion, to the fiscus. So surely if they can contribute such an amount of money, then at the end of the day, you fail to give them the recognition that they deserve by simple casting their vote, by simple, voting for the leaders that they want. That is one challenge that we have. And we are saying, as much as we, the people back home, will be, lobbying and advocating for those, for the electoral reforms, for the political reforms, but also the diasporans as well. You have that obligation to do the lobbying from outside. For starters, you sit down and say, okay, fine, we demand our right to vote, because our constitution in Zimbabwe is very clear to say that as long as you're above the age of 18 and a citizen of Zimbabwe, you are eligible to vote. So that is the principle that the country has to abide to. Whether you are resident in Zimbabwe, you don't belong to any constituency, that is another issue. But there's a constitutional principle that is in place. So you sit down and constitute, maybe, for example, an action for reforms, committee back in the diaspora to say, okay, we are looking which we feel are the deal breakers when it comes to our electoral reforms agenda, and we came up with a document for our electoral reforms which is called PRICE, which we'll be able to share with you. And we actually identify the key reform areas that we need to lobby for. For example, the independence of ZEC, and other electoral bodies. That is key. You are out there in the diaspora. Some of you are in other countries. We have the SADC and other model, on electoral laws. That is one document that was crafted by the SADC countries. And Zimbabwe is a member of SADC. We have an obligation with our comrades, our leaders in countries like Botswana, for example. You can actually take that document, go to visit the SADC secretariat to say, okay, fine, This is the document which was agreed to. As Zimbabweans, where are we? You tend to discuss. That is one other area. So then one other area of lobbying that we can look into. So there is a lot that can be done. We women, we face, all these challenges. Be it the economic challenges, be it, issues to do with education, social challenges. We are at the center of those things. And this is why we feel that women, let's sit down together. We have lots of women out there, and we have lots of women that are social media influencers. You go to Facebook, you go to Instagram, you go to Twitter. There are lots of women, that have a voice out there that can actually speak for the other women that are voiceless. So, and most of those women are in the diaspora. So let's sit down with those women. Let them assist us in amplifying our message as the women back at home. So for now, those are my few contributions. VP Kore and Mangito, I think they comprehensively spoke about, a lot of these issues. Let me stop for now and then get to hear what the others will be able to contribute. I thank you.
Thank you for that. Thank you so much for that. And I think that there's a clear theme that is coming out of what Vice President Karenyi Kore spoke on, and yourself, around the importance of the role that the people in the diaspora can play. And I think also some of the challenges that women face in the country. And we know that it's due to multi-dimensional crisis that exist in Zimbabwe. But I was going to bring in Dr. Kore so that she can pick up again on her role. So either Dr. Kore or Jessica in terms of the fundraising. And then I've seen that there's some male allies that were requesting to speak. Please, can I just remind very politely that we would be expecting you to tell us how much you're donating and then coming off the platform. Thank you. Over to you, Dr. Kore.
Thank you very much, Lisa, and I want to thank Leader Shiriedenga for her explanation. I want to thank Dr. Ranga and Chief Sose. North America has already started doing it. That's the way we do it in North America. So I'm waiting for England, I'm waiting for Europe to start chipping in so that we have our printer at the end of today. Dr. Ranga has connectivity issues, but he has chipped in with $115. So we appreciate that, Dr. Ranga. Thank you so much. At this moment, men, like has been said, can now chip in. And I have to challenge Leader Ziko, Dr. Ziko. You came to America and snatched our money last week in our quiz. So it's time for you to pay back now. Can I challenge Dr. Ziko to chip in?
I think we can invite Dr. Ziko to come through. I think I can do that.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. At this juncture, let me. Oh, I see. Dr. Ziko is here. Dr. Ziko, please go ahead, and then we can proceed with our fundraising.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Kore. So last week I snatched $50. So that's exactly what I'm going to put in. You can drop me from the speakers.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Ziko. We're hoping that you would do a little bit more, but that's okay. So I have pinned the link for donating to our cause and actually buying the printer machine for our membership cards. So as we all know that this is a very, very important aspect a very important resource in the movement. If we actually do want to move forward, we need this kind of technology. I think for those that were around last week, SGUNA was able to actually communicate in regards to the issues that we've had in the past in regards to the membership cards, the backlogs, and how we've been having to outsource instead of actually doing it on our own. So this is a cause for us to actually do this in-house. And I think also the Treasury General, Honorable Coulthard, further articulated that this would be something the party would appreciate. And the diaspora, as always, they come through. Like the host said, we have already done the PA system. If you have not seen it, if you have not seen videos, please feel free to go and watch them. I think the MDC Alliance Diaspora Affairs handle has the pictures and the videos. So at this point, I will be allowing speakers to come through because I can see that we have quite a lot. And Dr. Magaisa, thank you so much. I just saw your donation. Thank you. You said you will not be speaking, but thank you so much for donating towards this cause. I don't know, Dr. Gokena, do you have something to say, or we can proceed with the other speakers?
I just want to thank people who have chipped in. Thank you, Dr. Magaisa. We appreciate all you do towards the struggle, and we appreciate even your writing. So thank you so much, and thank you to everyone who is going to donate. I think let's dedicate this next 15 minutes to men who are just chipping in to donate and say one word.
Thank you.
The province here, so I'm chipping in $50 to this cause.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you so much, Tabuko. Thank you so much. I will allow Kendu to go ahead. Kendu, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Thank you very much, VP Kore, for those sound words of wisdom, and thank you all the ladies here. If we gain something from what you shared with us, I'm going to support the women's voices by chipping in $50 into the donation pot. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I will allow DJ to go ahead and speak. VJ, if you can hear me, please unmute your mic. I think VJ is not on the line. Kaida, please go ahead. Paida, can you hear me? Host, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I don't think Paida, so we might have to remove Paida from the speaker if they can't hear us.
That's all right. Washington, thank you so much for joining. I know you are part of the Diaspora.
Remove Paida from the speaker if they can't hear us.
That's all right. Washington, thank you so much for joining. I know you are part of the Diaspora Network for Change. We work together, and please go ahead if you have something you'd like to say.
Greetings, good evening. Thank you for giving me this platform to speak. I just want to say, like what the Sabogwe said, Musha Mukazi. A lot of us men think we are great, yes, we are great, but we are made greater by our women. Without you guys, we are nothing, we're useless. So I just want to thank our VP who spoke and those who are also going to speak. I've got my donation for 100, and I just wish that we could all do the same and continue to grow as a people, as a party, as citizens, and lead by example. So thank you, co-hosts, for the work you are doing, and my sister Barbara there, and I hand back the mic.
Thank you so much, Washington. Over to you, host, if you'd like to say something.
Yes, I think we've got a few more people that have come on. So we've got Pearl, she's here. We've got, so she might want to say something. We've got someone called Well Done, Vote Change, and Mr. Case. So they may want to making donations. So Mr. Case and Vote Change and Well Done may want to make donations. So would we like to give them a chance before Pearl can speak?
That's all right. With the people that I had added, maybe we can start with Pearl. Pearl, please go ahead.
Thank you very much. I just would like to begin nekutenda the women who have come together to create this very important space. I'm here in Washington, D.C., so I'm really humbled by the effort to bring women together from the diaspora in order to have Zimbabwe moving forward. I do have a question, which I'm hoping perhaps if it could be addressed by Leader Ellen Shiri, or if Vice President is available, or even by Leader Barbara if they are also available. My question is, could they possibly maybe explain or help us better understand in terms of the fact which I believe the Vice President Kore mentioned earlier, that elections are a numbers game. And in this numbers game, it means that if we don't have registrations in huge numbers, then that is already the beginning of the effort. If there's no voter turnout in huge numbers, in the millions literally, then that's another step in that effort. And so in order to mobilize and to have this countrywide outreach, it won't be achievable without money. So if there's a way, perhaps if you can clearly perhaps explain so that we can understand in the diaspora how the fundraising is then perhaps put into the hands of the individual leaders who are going out into the province or by province or going door to door and so on. Maybe explain that, because I think that these are some of the questions which are always in the top of the mind or back of mind of many people in the diaspora who perhaps are not necessarily members of the party, but may vote in the party's favor. And then if there are challenges in this effort, or if there are hurdles in this effort, or if there are successes in this effort, it would be great if we could hear a little bit more about this very critical element in getting a win in 2023. Thank you so much for the opportunity to ask these questions. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Pearl. I think that is a great question, and perhaps let me give it to Ellen, as she is here. The VP is trying to connect, but I think she's been really having a difficult with connecting. Ellen, please go ahead if you can just take that question.
Thank you so much.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear. I think the host was
Yes, I just have Vice President Honorable Karenyi Kore on the line. And so I was hoping that she might be able to also chip in into that question, because she's failing to come back on Twitter Spaces.
Yes, perfectly fine. She can go ahead.
Can I speak now?
Yes, Ellen, please go ahead.
Okay, no, that's fine. What I wanted to say is voter registration is very critical. And like I indicated earlier, there is a voter registration blitz coming up as from the 1st of February. And what we are simply waiting for now is the roadmap on how the BVR kits will be distributed in the constituencies. And this is one thing that we've been advocating for some time, because the voter registration centers, although they are 73 countrywide, but they are virtually inaccessible, to the generality of the people. So it will be good for ZEC to actually go down to the people, decentralize the voter registration kits. But in any event, as much as there's that blitz, but also there is the challenge that, you look at, for example, their proposed distribution program was that a constituency would have two BVR kits. And we have some constituencies, that are of a radius of over 100 kilometers to 200 kilometers. And still the issue of accessibility it comes into play. So we as the MDC Alliance, we're saying what we simply need at this point in time is fuel, which will enable us to get people to travel to their nearest registration centers. So we're trying by all means to mobilize for fuel, to get people so that people get transport to register, but also as part of our program, we have saying we have our community action for change program, whereby we have decentralized all our campaigns. If you would have noticed previously, we would have just random campaigns, targeting, which have no specific targets. So what we're saying now is we are focusing on on the communities. So we have our persons, be it at a polling station level, the polling station point person will be responsible for ensuring that we have a record of potential voter registrants that are 18 years or above, those typical first-time voters. And this is one area to say we are going down even street by street to ensure that to identify all the persons that are eligible to vote. So we have got that community action program, and also we are intending to take advantage of the voter registration blitz to make sure that we get people registered in numbers. And of course, Pearl asked about the challenges. There are lots of hurdles that are in place. For example, we speak about the issue of the identity cards. They are still, the Registrar General's office is still not issuing the identity card documents. In fact, they are limiting numbers. Like, for example, you go to Bulawayo, they are taking about 20 people per day. And you go to Harare, Makombe only takes 50 people a day. So that is one challenge. We have quite a number of young people out there that need to register but do not have identity documents. And so that is one area that we've been talking to ZEC about. We had a meeting with ZEC just a few days back to say the reason why you guys postponed the voter registration blitz in December was because you wanted to give way to the Registrar General's office, to actually go to the people. compel, the appropriate departments, to actually address the issue of the identity documents. I thank you. That's all.
That's all right, Ellen. Thank you so much. I think the VP is back on, but she will be calling in as she has been having challenges. So VP through the MDC Alliance EU handle, please come through.
Thank you very much. I think you must maybe highlight the points which you want me to touch on, because I was not on the base for some time. For some reason, I don't know what is happening to my connectivity.
That's perfectly fine. I think the question that Pearl had has already been answered by Ellen. Pearl, are you satisfied, or you would like the VP to reiterate a little bit more?
Okay. Thank you. Yes, I was just asking if maybe you can, if there's anything you wish to add regarding, I guess, what can the women in the diaspora then do to help in the situation that Leader Ellen Shiri has explained, that there's issues with identity documents. Are people able to get their birth certificates so that they can even have the identity documents through the registrar's office? And kana vanhu vachienda kuma-province to go and mobilize and to go and do the outreach, kana mari isipo, and how can we even begin to think about talking about winning in these huge numbers in the millions? So what are those challenges? What are those hurdles? And if there are some successes, then let us understand what are those successes. And when people are doing the fundraisings, how then does that money get then put into the people's hands? Mobilization and outreach when they're going door to door, ward to ward, province to province. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Pearl. Allow me, before I ask the VP to come through, to also just acknowledge Fadzi, our spokesperson. Thank you so much for joining us in our discussion. VP, please come through.
I think we seem to have lost the VP again. Or is she coming through? Yes, go ahead. Is there another issue?
I'm not particularly sure, because she's calling in using the MDC Alliance EU handle. So maybe for now, while we wait, sorry, Paul, I think we'll ask the VP to address your concerns once she's back on. I will let Salani speak, and then we can try to move on.
Jessica, thank you so much, my love. I want to also thank MDC Alliance Diaspora Affairs as the host for allowing me this opportunity to speak. Jessica, if you could just check, I just put £100 towards the fund. If you could just confirm that, my love, whoever is keeping track of those who are contributing, I hope you'll be able to confirm that, my love.
Yes, I should be able to. VP, are you back on? I will, Salani, thank you so much for your contribution. VP, are you back on?
I'm here. I'm hearing everything which you are talking.
That's all right. Maybe if you can, I'm not sure, did you get Pearl's question where she's talking about resource mobilization, getting into the right hands for the people that are going to do the door-to-door? Pearl, is that correct?
Yes, thank you, and thank you. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you, VP. Please come through.
Okay. I was saying, like what Ellen said about the issue of resource mobilization and the challenges which they are facing. And just to buttress what Peo was trying to say when she was asking, how do you go out there? How do we manage the issue of door-to-door, the issue of voter registration? The issue is, for sure we really need to intensify on the issue of resource mobilization. Because what I know is when people saw us on Facebook, saw us addressing rallies, Twitter spaces and the like, it's not that easy because the issue is about sacrificing. And what I've realized is if you want to reach to the target of 6 million votes, the role of the women out there now is to make sure that they mobilize the resources, because people go out there using money, they use fuel, they use vehicle, they use everything. That's why I've said we can even partner with our vehicles. Among ourselves, some of the vehicles big home, and you can donate it to a ward, you can donate it to a constituent, you can donate it to a polling station, so that we make sure that we defend our vote. The reason why we are asking for the issue of lobbying and advocacy for the automatic registration is now to help these people, like what Ellen has said, to say my national IDs is a challenge. But if we advocate for a reform to make sure that if someone or if a child is reached 18 years, automatically that child must be on the voters roll. That is one of the reforms which Ellen has tried to say, which at least let's try by all means, if anyone reach the level of voting, automatically through that national identity card, rather than us giving an identity card next time go and register. Let's try to lobby for this reform to say, if you go and take a national ID, automatically you are a registered voter. It will be now your choice whether you want to vote or whether you don't want to vote. And this is where we now come in to say we need resources now to go and do the door-to-door, to go and do this mass mobilization to convert a registered voter into a voter, because the campaign is going to be purely on household point, to make sure that you reach a household and make sure that that household has got a point person, from a point person to a point of the leader, which is going to make sure that vote polling station roads. The issue is you cannot say so the issue is someone would donate money, someone would donate fuel, someone would donate human capital to say I will go and do the door-to-door to make sure that we have these flyers, we have these printers. And I want to thank you so much, because I know with this printer which you are raising, it will go a long way, because if you have the flyers, if you have the posters, if you have all these materials to campaign, I know very, very well to get them. And I want to simplify it to say, Vana Mama, President Vachamisa, Vice President Kore, whoever Clifford Saklayo out there, but I know end up as I'm here. Zvazvinoita ndezvekuti anotora chingwa chemubamake chaifanira kudya, otokonvheta mari yake iyoyo kuti ayo mari yangu yepamwedzi, let me donate to the party. So the issue is people are doing a lot, but we need you to partner with us. We need to try by all means, ladies and gentlemen, to convert a stakeholder into a shareholder, because if you become a shareholder of a company, you make sure that always you'll be on stock exchange to see whether you become jealous of it. So the reason why we are engaging with the diasporans in this big home is to say, let's partner in this. If you partner, if you invest it, you become jealous of your chinhu chako. Even I will remember, mukadzi wako haudi kuti atombotorwa neumwe murume wako haudi kuti atombotorwa neumwe mukadzi. So you become so jealous with it. So let's become jealous about this thing and partner with us, so that at least you go out there. We don't want to reach to a point yamunoti nhasi ningatadza kuenda kuchireti just because ashaya fuel. It's better ashaya mari yekudya, it's better ashaya pekurara, but at least I end out there to convert people to register and also to vote. So I encourage each and everyone, let's donate, let's also support because tinenge tatunungura nevana vedu.
Thank you so much, VP. If the host can come through.
Thank you so much for that, Jessica. And also just listening to the VP there, I feel that when someone becomes a shareholder, they are a key stakeholder in that partnership. They feel included, they feel involved, they feel that they have a stake in the profits that are going to be shared, and in the whole process, they're more likely to engage and to want to be a part of the whole process and to give into that process financially as well as their time. So thank you so much for that. I think, Jessica, we had a couple of male allies. Here there's Mike. I can see before we move on, we have a list of speakers that we would like to come in from around the diaspora in leadership positions within different provinces, and would like to give them an opportunity to come on and just share a bit about what they're doing as leaders in the diaspora, supporting the fight for change in Zimbabwe. So if maybe we can allow Mike to tell us his donation, and he can come off and we can bring in some speakers. If you have already spoken, we are less likely to get you to speak until everybody has had their turn. So thank you for those that have already spoken previously. So Mike, please come in.
Mike, if you can unmute your mic.
Okay. Sorry, I pressed the mic by mistake. I'm not from the diaspora. I'm Zimbabwe. But if you want me to make a contribution, I can. Not necessarily donating.
Okay, so we would like you to donate to the male ally this evening, but we will remove you from the speaker list. Thank you so much. I'm going to ask Chenai Mtamba.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for your contribution. I want to thank our Vice President Kore for talking about partnership. In North America, we are already partnering with branches in Zimbabwe. And the Assembly of Women in particular has already started fundraising towards voter registration. And these branches that we are twinning with, I think there are about 5 branches, are going to benefit from this, and there's accountability because we are in touch with them already on other projects. The money that women are raising is going to transport people to registration centers, and those who need money as far as the registration process is concerned will be sponsored, and we need money for this. So some people who are in North America who didn't know that the Assembly of Women is fundraising towards voter registration, please get hold of me or get hold of the women leadership and sponsor that. We need to partner with people in Zimbabwe so that they register to vote. So one more thing that we have to focus on for the next 10 minutes. Even the word of God says, money answereth everything. We need money. We have heard a lot being said about voter registration. We have heard a lot about inclusive democracy and what it includes, money, business, economics. We need money, and we must go back to our printer and get it today by force, by fire. So let's chip in. Ladies, I know we are helpers to men, but in this situation, I expect to see more ladies chipping in. Whoever is coming in the next 10 minutes, be chipping in with money. Then your idea or your contribution afterwards. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Kore. Chenai, please go ahead.
Thank you, Patricia. It's so funny. You're going to laugh at this. Before I say what I have to say, I was actually in the middle of doing my donation, when you said my name. So it was quite synchronized. It was very uncanny. So I just want to say thank you for hosting this platform. Thank you for inviting me to share my 2 pennies worth, or $50 as it is in real terms this evening. And thank you so much to the Vice President. You know, I really liked everything that she was encouraging us. Also, just really painting the picture that this is a season of sacrifice. You know, I was speaking with somebody this morning about, most of you would have seen a video that is circulating that people are making joke of a young woman, a young girl that has been impregnated by somebody in the community. And somehow it has become an amusement. People are amused, it's funny. We are finding the joke in that, you know. And so I find that as women, especially the conscientized women, we have a role of empathy. Empathy is our first superpower. Allow yourself to empathize with the things that are happening in Zimbabwe. Because as a woman, I know we had the previous speaker saying that we are called to help. You help where there's a weakness. And the weakness is empathy. And that is our superpower. We have the ability to put ourselves in that little girl's shoe. So when we are being told that we have a role to advocate, a role to lobby, it's not something, you don't need any other skill other than your God-given superpower of empathy. That is your default. Because you might think of yourself and think, but I can't write. If I pick up the phone, I want to speak to my MP. If you're in the UK, I want to speak to Senate or whoever. If you're in America or whomever is responsible when you're in Australia. Don't worry about that. Don't measure yourself to say, because I'm not a very good writer, I'm not a very good speaker. You already have what it takes naturally, and that is your empathy. And that is the gospel that we need to conscientize the people in our sphere of influence. We need them to understand that in our country it's become funny when a 14-year-old is raped and impregnated. It's become a joke. We want to see what's funny about that before we actually address the real issue at stake. And this is happening, it's just become so right in Zimbabwe that we're almost at a risk of becoming so desensitized about the plight of the girl child, about the plight of the marginalized communities, whether it is the civil servants, the workers, the nurses, the teachers, of whom the majority are women. So let us take on that role of empathy and use that to talk about what is happening in Zimbabwe, to activate the world towards the cause for Zimbabwe. Yes, it is not that we want to outsource our struggle to other countries, but it is important that they too become aware of what is happening and that we remain conscientized about, what is the Zimbabwean story? Where is it broken, So with that, yes, faith without works is dead. We have to support the struggle. And we are not saying give all your money to the struggle. No. There are so many. I think somebody said 4 million was a number I once heard about the number of Zimbabweans in the diaspora. If all of those just gave $1, that will be more than enough. So do your part, give what you can, but you will do more when you encourage others to do the same. Don't hesitate. Speak out to the people that will listen to you. Every woman has got at least one person. Talk to that person. Get them encouraged to the point of becoming a stakeholder, like we have heard, becoming a shareholder, like we have heard. Let them become part of the struggle. $5 a month, $1 a month. Even sometimes when you're sending money home, knock off 10% and say, well, I was supposed to send $100. I'm sending 90 because I need $10 to go towards the struggle. Because unless something changes in Zimbabwe, we are signed up to subsidizing folk back home. And our children that we are raising, they are also going to come into that position. And in the end, they'll say, I don't even know these people in Zimbabwe anyway. So why am I helping them? So it is very, very important we keep our eye on the prize. And the prize is to win Zimbabwe for change. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Chennai. And, as you were speaking, I was reminded of, when we talked about the $1, I was reminded of every little helps, whatever it is that someone can put into that pot is really, really critical. I'm just going to ask Jessica to do a little bit of asking the male allies to donate. And then I will, at the same time, ask the following leaders to get ready to speak. Please request the mic. Wongai Mufara, who is a human rights activist. And I'm also going to ask Rose Maponga and Olive Rugito in that order. Please get ready to speak. Request the mic. Thank you. Over to you, Jessica.
Thank you so much, host. I am waiting for our male counterparts in the diaspora to come through with donations. I think one of the most expressive way to show support is to actually participate when women are asking for your support. So it does show that you are with us and you're also helping us to move towards the cause. So I'm kindly asking for those that are not particularly sure what the contributions are about. Maybe I will just give a small highlight. So we have membership cards that are printed when you become a member, and we have been outsourcing. So we need, right, a printer that has the security measures that we need to be able to actually have such cards. So we are trying to mobilize resources, because without these resources, and we know that for a fact that MDC Alliance under Advocate Nelson Chamisa at this point is the one that is funding towards its own cause, right? So this is a people's movement. I always say this is a people's movement, and the people are the ones that are funding it. So I do appreciate those that have done it, even if they did not come up to speak. But if you do feel like you need to speak and donate, please kindly come through. We are looking forward to your donations. At this point, let me ask Pula to come through.
Hello, how are you? I'm Pula. I'm in South Africa. I'm not a Zimbabwean, but I would really like to donate to Zimbabwe. Since well, here in South Africa, like there are a lot of Zimbabweans that are staying here. I can say maybe I can donate 10,000 rand to Zimbabwe. Since well, there are a lot of Zimbabweans here in South Africa that are not really, what can I say, are really struggling here in the side of the country. So, but I would like to know what are you doing there in Zimbabwe, and also those who are in diaspora. Like I hear that like there are 4 million. I heard somebody say something like 4 million Zimbabweans in diaspora, and like I was shocked, to be honest. Like how many? This many people like leaving their country. Like 4 million is a lot of people going out of their country. I don't know what's the problem there that let them leave their country. But I see that over 4 million left their country there in Zimbabwe. So I would like to donate, but then I would like to know, beside the membership, here you talk about struggle. I'd like to know what struggle is it there? What are you doing there to help your people here in South Africa so that they can go home, they can go and vote, they can go home and raise their economy like everybody else is doing around the SADC there. So I would like to donate 10,000, but then I would like to know what is the struggle in Zimbabwe that you're talking about, because most of what I see here in South Africa is that I have a lot of Zimbabweans where I stay here in South Africa, in the village here. Also, you'll find that where we used to hang out, like in the taverns nowadays, we have like more Zimbabweans more than the locals here. So that tells me like there are a lot of many of them are here, and they don't seem to be wanting to go back to their country there and fix their problems there. But then it's fine. I would like to know what struggle are you pushing there so that people can go home, so that we can donate and we can encourage the Zimbabweans here to start being patriotic about their country, and so that they can have membership, they can have groups that are working towards redeeming their economy and their country there. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hon, you can go ahead.
Redeeming their economy and their country there. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hon, you can go ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I think they have asked a question that we can perhaps pick up in another Twitter space and not in this current space. I can see that a lot of people are dropping off and reconnecting again. So it looks like there's a lot of connectivity. And reconnecting again. It looks like connectivity. So I'm going to ask Chipo to come in and speak, please. Hopefully you'll be able to speak, but there's a lot of drop-offs. Thank you, Chipo.
I don't know. Can you hear me, Patricia? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay. All protocols observed. To all my leaders here and everyone listening. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning to wherever you are. My name is Chipo Pararenya Toasi Amfinya in the United Kingdom. I'm the Secretary for Elections. And here in the diaspora, as Secretary for Elections, my role is to support the party voter education, also registration programs, and ensuring we have trained election agents. As UK and Ireland, we inclusively do this by encouraging our members and supporters to donate so that these programs can be implemented well. The aim is to help to drive electoral registrations, also to ensure the leaders back home get all our support. You know what has been said by our leader, Kore, and all the other speakers, that we need to fundraise for the elections that are upcoming. And at the moment, we also have the by-elections by the 26th of March, which we are also trying to fundraise and raising campaigns for funds towards the elections. And also another thing that we, as women, we play a very important role in life. And you know, we carry a lot of responsibilities in life, carrying so many things that we carry, it's like we multiply. Anything that we touch multiplies as women. So we play a big role, even in raising our children, raising the nation, giving birth, everything that we do. We multiply. So as women, we play this role, which is very important, and we urge all the women to say, let's demonstrate our ability, let's demonstrate our potential, and by really doing everything within our capacity, within our power, to make sure things goes well in Zimbabwe, our elections comes out well. We are trying to achieve our goals by working so hard to support with the twinning programs here in the UK. We have got branches that are twinned with different areas in Zimbabwe. Like, for example, where I am, I'm in London branch, and we are twinned with the Shavanengezi, and we are trying to raise funds so that we can support the twinned area that we are. And also the other districts and other branches, they are also working tirelessly hard to raise the funds so that they can support the areas that they are twinned with. And as a province, we have also initiated a Vision 2023. This is an account that was also that was only for elections, Vision 2023 elections. So we are trying to raise funds, and we have got a couple of so many people who are doing direct debits towards that in preparation for the 2023 election. We also encourage those who haven't joined in to join in, so that we, by the end, when we get to 2023, at least we'll be having something more that we can try to help with the polling stations. We know the polling agents, they play a very important role, because those are the people that Hi, have we lost you, Chipo, there? It looks like Chipo has dropped off. In that case, I am going to come back to you, Dr. Gwekwerere, so that you can encourage people to donate. And if there are any male allies, we will come to you to ask if you've made a donation and you'd like to tell us how much. If not, I think we can lean on Dr. Ziko to tell us how we are doing in that space. Thank you. Over to you, Dr. Gwekwerere. Are you there, Dr. Gwekwerere?
Thank you very much, everyone, for... Right, go ahead.
Go ahead, yes.
Hello? Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for your contributions. We really appreciate the contributions. And I now call upon male partners to start contributing. I need to challenge the males. Mushamukazi, but Tengitiri Paspana Baba. So let's have the fathers or the males in this on this platform leading us. We are your helpers. Challenge all male leadership.
Thank you, Dr. Gwekwerere. If we don't have anyone that is coming on to tell us that they've made a donation or would like to make a donation, can I go over to Olive Rushidzo, who is the Leicester chairperson? So over to you, Olive.
Thank you very much, Patricia, and thank you. All protocol observed. it is quite an honor to see so many people who've come in on this initiative. And I think it is encouraging as well to find that there are so many women who are standing up and speaking. As Patricia has mentioned, I'm the person for the Leicester branch in the MDC Alliance, UK and Ireland. I need to clarify that. And our drive, I think what I want to speak about now is our drive has been to ensure that everybody gets the news. Everybody gets what is current. If you go through to our Facebook page or our website, you will always find current information. I was touched by the gentleman, without going into too much detail, from South Africa, who mentioned that he wanted to understand what our struggle is. What it said to me was, as Zimbabweans, we are not articulating well what our problems are and how we intend to solve them. So if our neighbors in South Africa are unaware of what our problems are, or we haven't articulated, we haven't started to feel the discomfort. It is important that we don't confine just the discussions only to our Twitter spaces. But when we leave the spaces, it should be a way of life. There is a struggle, a bigger struggle than the £50, £100, $100, and all appreciated. But I think we should then learn to also speak about it, be part of the solution, be part of solution-oriented processes, be part of groups that are doing something, saying something, contributing somewhere. Here in the UK, I think, as Leader Chipo was about to mention, there are various initiatives that are going on, and in keeping with the citizens' agenda, citizens have come together, and there are various fundraisers that are going on to defend the vote, to twin with constituencies, and we are finding that women are leading it. We're not taking anything away from the men, but we're saying because today is designated to women, we want to commend and push women, speak, take it out. If you have that dollar, if you have a pound, if you don't have that dollar, get up and speak. So I think if you, for whatever news you need, for whatever you updated information, if you go to our Facebook page, MDC Alliance Leicester, you will find that we have a lot of news in conjunction with Change Radio as well. So speak. Let's not keep quiet. Let's not keep our opinions to ourselves. Let's not keep the struggle under carpets. It's something we are proud of. We're proud of our country. We're struggling together. Some are on the ground, and we commend those soldiers who are on the ground and who are doing the day-to-day work, which is much harder than taking out the £50 and giving it out. But let's all be seen to do something. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Olive, and for all those encouraging words and some of the things that you're doing as part of your own support towards the party activities. I'm now going to ask Alex Magaisa to speak. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, host. I wasn't going to speak at all today because it's a space for women, and I just wanted to respect that autonomy and those boundaries. But over the last few minutes, I've been listening very carefully, and thank you so much to all the contributors. I'm learning a lot. Something occurred to me when I listened to our compatriot from South Africa, and thank you for his donation. And I think Olive has touched on some of the issues that I was going to raise. So thank you for doing that. Is it Olive or Olivia? I'm not sure. But I thought that the gentleman is raising a very important question. And for me, I wouldn't want to be the one to articulate it. I think that it's a space for women. I would actually want to challenge you guys to address the question that he raised, because we might take it for granted. People don't know what our struggle is. So when someone asks, what is the nature of your struggle? And they have taken their time to be on our space, I think that they deserve a very clear response. It might even help other people from other countries who are also on the space who don't know the nature of the struggle. And I think that if it can be articulated by you guys, the women who are on this space, it would be even better. Any opportunity to explain the nature of the struggle in Zimbabwe must always be taken. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. And I'm going to open the floor to the leadership on here to respond to that question, and also to the importance that has been placed by the comments that were made by a South African participant or compatriot that was here on this platform. Thank you. Ben, please go ahead.
Okay, are you hearing me? Hello, are you hearing me?
Yeah, please go ahead.
No, thank you very much. And I want to thank you so much for the question from the guy from South Africa. I want to say thank you very, very much for listening to this space, and thank you so much for your time. I'm humbled to hear someone who is not a Zimbabwean, who is also passionate about Zimbabwe. And I want to also maybe try to answer. I don't know whether he's going to be satisfied or not, but Dr. Magaisa, thank you so much for challenging that, to say you have to speak about the situation in Zimbabwe. Maybe with just a background from my fellow colleague from South Africa is, I think Zimbabwe from around 2000 up to today, we have so many challenges of illegitimacy. Normally, we go for the elections, we ask for the reforms. The ruling party, which is the ZANU-PF, they always do whatever they want. They don't even listen to the constitution. They have militarized everything. Every institution is more like a militarized institution. You go to it's ex-soldier, it's someone who was in the ZANU-PF structure. So they've already taken over the judiciary, they've taken over every institution. So it becomes so difficult. Normally when we go to these elections, the issues of violence, the issue of human rights abuses, the issue of whatever thing you can talk about when we talk about the issue of the human rights. And the ZANU-PF regime can even go further to use the issue of the national resources to make sure that they unleash violence against the citizens. So the situation is like most of the Zimbabweans, they cannot even find jobs in Zimbabwe. There is no job. If you go to these government institution, there is nothing there. Most of the resources are coming just from maybe the ZIMRA in terms of the immigration and the like. But in terms of taxes, people are no longer working. Maybe I can say more than 90% of the Zimbabweans are not working. So with these harsh conditions, most of the people have resorted to seek the green pastures to say, if I go to South Africa, I will maybe try to look after my children. Some are in South Africa not because they want to go and look for green pastures. They are more like people who are refugees. They have so many issues. During the elections, their wives were killed, some their husbands were killed. We have got widows in South Africa who were purely through the political violence. So people in South Africa, most of them, they are not there because they want to stay in South Africa. They are there because they want to make sure that they seek refuge. They want to make sure that they've got better lives. Here in Zimbabwe, the situation is not conducive. The environment is not good. So people have resorted to say, let me go out there, think about other things to do. Others they've come there because of work, others have come there because of political situations. And what I know is those people, they really want to go home. But the issue is we also want SADC and other regions to say, why are these people in South Africa? What is the cause? If someone has got a headache, it means there is something which causes that headache. So the issue is we also need help from South African government to say, why is it people are coming here? It's not about beating up the Zimbabweans. It's not about this xenophobia or it's about anything. But the issue is we want the governments to say, let's help the Zimbabweans. How are we going to help Zimbabweans? Let's talk to the regime, to the ruling party to say, you have to observe the rule of law. You just need to respect the constitution. You just need to give people freedom of assembly, freedom of association. Because here in Zimbabwe, it's more like if you are an opposition, you are an enemy of the state. If you are an opposition, you are an enemy of the state. If you ask one of us here in leadership, most of us, we are in and out of this course. We are in and out in the jails and the like, in the remand prison. Some are serving the jail terms, some would serve 18 years, then by the end of the day they will say you are acquitted. Some have served 6 years, then they say you are acquitted. So if you go and investigate, it's not because we want to go to South Africa, it's because the situation is forcing us to go to South Africa. It's saying the situation is we have to save our lives and say, let's go to South Africa. So those who are remaining, those who are in Zimbabwe, you have said, what are you doing? We are trying by all means to speak out, to fight for these reforms, to fight for these spaces, to say, can't you help us? Because if you look on our agenda items, one of the agenda items is the issue of global engagement. One of it is global action for change. What are we saying? We are saying we are supposed to be talking to South Africa government to say, why can't you help the Zimbabweans? The South African government can help Zimbabwe by setting the record straight. Let me maybe give an example from to my brother to say, if you remember very well, the last elections, you know, when we went to these elections, there was violence. People were killed. There was this cry out there, and we received the Moshande report and the like. That report was very, very clear to say we must follow the constitution, we must respect the human rights, we must not kill people in every, but nothing was implemented in that report. So we are simply saying the South African government must also listen to the Zimbabweans. It's not about the few of us who are in the leadership, but the Zimbabweans. So we are doing a lot as a people in Zimbabwe. We have been doing these demonstrations to ask to say the constitution is very clear. It says if you want to demonstrate against your rights, you have to. But here in Zimbabwe, if you demonstrate, you are being arrested. So we are saying we are doing a lot. We are speaking out. We are encouraging those Zimbabweans in the diaspora to say, if you are close to South Africa, why can't you come home and also register? Then you also go back to work. But if you want to free yourself, you have to come and register and also come to vote. But we are doing a lot. And we also need help from my brother who has spoken to say, what are you doing in Zimbabwe? We are doing our best. We are lobbying the government, we are lobbying the NGOs, we are lobbying the global village to say we are in the global village. We cannot just live alone in South Africa, Zimbabwe. We also need your help. How are you going to help us? Why can't you push for these reforms? Why can't you put the record straight to say if we are going for the election, we need a free and fair election. We need a diaspora vote. We need a clean voters roll. We need proper result management. We need security of the voter and security of the vote. So all these issues we are fighting and we are doing our lot, but we are also asking for you in South Africa, for the people there in government to say, why don't you put the record straight? What is the problem of saying a diaspora vote? I know very well in South Africa and other regions, the diaspora vote is one of the fundamental rights for a person to say, if you are a South African, if you go to Mozambique, you can even vote during the election. So why is it not happening in Zimbabwe? So we also need you to help us because we are doing our part. And our people there are not there by saying they just want to go there to see green pasture. But the issue is, the Zimbabwe situation is unbearable. People cannot survive.
Hello, have we lost the VP again? Leader Barbara.
And yes, the record straight.
Yes, Pat. I think everyone was muted and I've unmuted everyone. Oh, okay. You can go ahead. Okay.
Okay, I think I'm done.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you so much, VP. Can I come in, Pat?
Yes,
yeah, thank you so much, VP, for clarifying the issues and for the sake of our South African comrade. That was very powerful. Pat, I just want to come in responding to VP's first presentation where she spoke about, where she was speaking about the role. Mind you, I've paid my $100 so I can speak. I'm no longer a co-host. I'm a speaker now.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. I was saying I just wanted to respond to VP's presentation where she was speaking about the role of the women in the diaspora. She spoke about, she highlighted that the women in the diaspora, our role can be of advocacy and lobbying. And on this one, this is very, very key as far as I'm concerned. We have issues that we need to lobby or to advocate for, maybe in the embassies. But you find half the time when we go to those embassies, there are only a few people that go. It's as if most people in the diaspora, they are very comfortable. They are not worried about the struggle back home because they know their families are not struggling. Their families are well fed. So they don't care about what happened. So it touches me to say, honestly, this is what we can do for the people in Zimbabwe that are struggling. You know, the environment is very volatile. The environment is not free. The environment is very dangerous. But we see people in Zimbabwe, they are doing their best, but we sit in our comfort zones. We don't care about the struggle. We say they will do it. I cannot do this. I'll tell you about the COP26 that where we went and demonstrated. If I tell you, I traveled. I sat on the bus for 18 hours going to Scotland, and I did not even feel it. Why? Because I was geared. I told myself, I'm going to do my part as a person who is in the diaspora. I went there, we demonstrated, and you know, the demonstration went viral, and people back home, they were at least happy to say, at least we did something. So we need to
to revisit our stance as women or people that are in the diaspora and think twice. Why are we here? Did we just come here to enjoy good life, or we are here because things are not well back home? Do we want to stay here for good, or we want to go back home? So we have a responsibility to see to it that we fight from this angle. And also, she spoke about the freedom of speech. I don't see the reason why most of in the diaspora are not utilizing this. We are free to say whatever we want to say. We can take Mnangagwa, we can take we can take every ministry. We can say anything. We can take Zek. We can tell Zek what we want to see happening. That's the power of people in the diaspora, because we have accessible, affordable Wi-Fi. Sometimes it's even free. So let's utilize some of the things that that are at our disposal. And also the other thing, whilst we are fundraising for this this initiative like the printer, let's also be part of the broader funding. Like to say, I know last time SG, when they came here encouraging people to adopt the constituencies, even VP Kore mentioned it. It is our responsibility. We have to adopt the constituencies or the wards or the polling stations. Let's do it. Apart from this, we are seeing ourselves being like I always say, this we are doing collectively. But Iwewe as an individual, what are you doing? Iwewe, if you list down, what have I done for this struggle as an individual? Can you list the things that you've done as an individual? Like for example, besides doing this, I even said to myself, I'm going to adopt my ward, the ward 27. I will make sure I will sponsor each and every activity in that ward. I will sponsor the candidate. I will sponsor the polling agents. I'll sure that even when they want transport is there. Everything. I will make sure that I have to do my part. So here we can even do that. If you see what is too much for you, why not even adopt a polling station? A polling station only holds four polling agents, 2 inside, 2 outside. Is that hard enough for us? Or maybe we need people home to break down the cost per polling station so that people will see and appreciate. But it's not even a big job. It will not even take most of monies. It's only a handful. So we want to, in as much as we are fundraising for these machines, we want to make sure that every polling station is going to have a polling agent. Polling agent that's going to be well catered for, and a phone, and a smartphone, and a scarf, well fed. So that we won't have my polling agents are not thinking about scarf. I was a chief election agent, President Chamisa, in 2018. I saw a lot of things. And we have to see to it. We take my polling agents that are pro democrats, that are pro struggle. We don't want polling agents that want to be polling agents because they want money. We want polling agents that are there. But even if you're and if one day you cannot die.
Hi, have you dropped off, Leader Barbara? Okay, wait for Leader Barbara to come back, I was just going to ask Dr. Kore to come back in again and just encourage people to continue to do donations as we continue with our various speakers speaking. Over to you, Dr. Kore.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate all your monetary contributions and all your suggestions for improvement and for development. At this moment, we have raised a certain amount of money, which I will say in Shona, and you'll see how ugly it sounds in Shona. We have raised mazana makumi mapere ane pfumbamwe. It doesn't sound good in Shona. I think we should just have a level figure. That is $809. So we need to push. Our aim when we started was to raise $4,000. So if we can't raise $4,000, we should at least have $1,000. It will sound better than mazana ane. So I challenge people to start chipping in. And before, while people are getting ready to chip in, I just want to respond to what Leader Barbara was saying. We can't all blame it on the women or people in the diaspora. Each and every Zimbabwean, wherever they are, whether it's under the sun, under the sea, they should play their role. Every Zimbabwean should play their role. And as a team, and as united, then we'll make progress. I actually have my own way of thinking. I'm not given a lot, and I have a clean heart as societal expectations are concerned, but I have developed a habit. I'm not a control freak, but those who fall under me who are in Zimbabwe, those who expect a hand from me, whether they are my immediate family, extended family, I have explained to them the situation to the fullest, so that they also fight for change in Zimbabwe. If we all do that, then our families will transform Zimbabwe. Because at times we blame the people in the diaspora, but when we sponsor people back home, they get relaxed, and some of them actually work against the struggle because they are having it all. So I have a condition. If you want my help, then let's work towards change so that I also come back to Zimbabwe and be with the family. Those who do not want, then I shorten my giving hands towards them. Or I actually cut it off if need be. So it's everybody that is involved. We should all work, whether you are in the diaspora, Zimbabwe, or wherever you are. So ladies and gentlemen, kindly let's raise our figure to Churu. Churu sounds better than Mazana and Zana. We are left with 100 and my math is wrong. $191 to get to $1,000. Please, ladies and gentlemen, let's work towards that. Let's chip in.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Kore. I think that at this point, I'm also going to put my hand in and donate $100. But I did also want to just go back to what Vice President Honorable Karenyi Kore was talking about when she was articulating some of the reasons why we see a mass migration by Zimbabweans to other countries, neighboring countries, where they go and seek either it's political or economic refuge. And I think one of the key things is that there's a political crisis in Zimbabwe. There's an illegitimacy of the current leadership, and there's a terrible lack of accountability. So you would have all been reading some of the tweets that were being tweeted by Hoko Chingono when he was talking about corruption And added to that is the lack of accountability for the perpetration of human rights violations and the restrictions to the right to freedom of assembly. And we know that the current regime has failed to live up to its own constitution and is in breach of the constitution. And it does not allow for the opposition, for civil society, for journalists, for anyone with a dissenting voice to operate without harassment. And you know, we're not talking specifically about that, but this is just to address some of that question that was raised by the South African compatriot who was here. We have also seen years of recession of the Zimbabwean economy, and as long as the current regime is in rulership, I call it rulership because we didn't give them the mandate to govern us. We know that the winner of the 2018 presidential elections is His Excellency President Nelson Chamisa. And that had he been in government and had the MDC alliance been in government today, there would have been a change in the fortunes of the country. So when people talk about the economy recovering, I find that very, very difficult to understand or to believe. And we know that this current regime is failing to re-energize or to ensure that the economy works again. And that leads to people wanting to leave the country in search of greener pastures, because these individuals have families, have children that go to school. There are health issues. We know that our healthcare has totally collapsed. It doesn't work. And the majority of Zimbabweans live off the informal sector. And so this is where they go out to buy and sell. And the impact of COVID, we mustn't forget the devastation that has been caused by COVID. And that in itself has exacerbated that need for people to leave the country for greener pastures. And I think what the call out to those other neighboring countries is that to have that empathy. And I think that someone talked about empathy. There have been so many speakers, but it was Chennai. Chennai talked about empathy, about, you know, when you have empathy, empathy drives you to do good for others. And that is what we would like to see. So for South Africa to have empathy for the citizens of Zimbabwe, because they have not created the situation that we are currently living under. And for any other country in the world to have that empathy, to welcome Zimbabweans when they knock on their doors and to give them that refuge, if it's economic, if it's political, or if it's any other type of refuge that they are looking for. But we know that in the process of people leaving the country, there tends to be a drain on the people that remain in the country. But also what we see is that the experienced people in the medical field, in the engineering world, so in those STEM-related careers, they leave the country and then the country is left struggling. So there are a lot of impacts that happen as a result of people leaving the country. But we do ask for empathy because there's a myriad of multi-dimensional crises that are happening in Zimbabwe that are driving people out, that have driven people like us out of the country. And what we really want is to be back in the country and helping to rebuild it. And I think that's why tonight is really important and why we need to fundraise and to get that as much of that £4,000, $4,000 as we possibly can tonight. Because the role that we play in the diaspora is giving of our money, and it's not to say that we have a lot of money, but you know, it's thinking about how we can give and not do other things that we perhaps want to do, and put aside that £20, that $20 towards the rebuilding of Zimbabwe. So we become part and parcel of that journey. So I may not have answered that question as fully as I would want to our South African brother, but most definitely we can have more time at another Twitter space where we can come together and then we can talk about this and really appeal to every Zimbabwean that is here and also non-Zimbabweans to really think deeply about that £5, that $5 that you can throw in the heart, because that is going to help us go back, help the MDC Alliance be able to do what we all need to do, so that citizens' action for change is what we really need to be thinking about tonight, so that we're digging deep in our pockets. When we look at the xenophobic acts that happen in South Africa and in other countries towards our fellow Zimbabweans, that is extremely sad. It's totally unacceptable, and we shouldn't be seeing that happen. And we know that we can't reach out to SADC because, you know, they are part and parcel of the regime. The African Union doesn't really work. We look to the international world to come in and to support, and it doesn't always work in the way in which we want, but there's nothing to stop us taking some action tonight so that we can support some of the efforts of the MDC Alliance Party. So I'll stop there right now, and I think that I'm going to ask someone that's been waiting for a very, very long time. United, can I ask you to unmute, please? And after you, I will come to you. More blessing. Thank you.
Yeah, myself, Kumkum from India. And it's so much pleasure to have myself over here and listening all the speakers. The reason being, I joined you when I found the headline as Role of Women. And you are talking about the Zimbabwe political situation over there. As I can see, this country got independence in the year 1980 and we, India, in 1947. Being a female, what I'm struggling or like me in India, it's almost the same. We are always fighting for our rights and equality, and the abuse, sexual abuse is the major problem even in India, and I feel it's all over the world. The same situation I'm fighting here, though India is the largest democracy country with a population of approximately 150 million people are over here. I'm very much open to have any type of help as you are talking about for in terms of donation. And because in India it's night, approximately 1 o'clock, it's going to be one night. So nothing more to speak, but always open for any sort of support as you feel like in terms of donation or whatsoever. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. There is actually a link in this tweet, so if you could access that link. To go and make your donation, and thank you so much for having come on this space. So I'm going to come to you now. More blessing, and then Jessica, please feel free to speak. I'll just do the co-host when More Blessing finishes. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I want to recognize all the leadership present and thank you for this opportunity to speak at this vibrant gathering of women. The last speaker just mentioned one of my core points which I wanted to raise. Unfortunately, network let me down at some point, so I was a bit out. So I don't know if some of my points were raised. I just managed to contribute only $20 towards the contributions of today. It's okay. So I wanted to talk about the power of solidarity. The presence of people like the last speaker, it shows huge solidarity in terms of our struggle. Why do we need solidarity? Because sometimes we can be like people who are wearing blinkers. We can be so overwhelmed. Zvakangofanana nevanhu vari panhamo. That's why we need vanhu vanotibata maoko. Those people who can be there for us during this struggle. Those are the people we need. So we need solidarity. You women in diaspora, sometimes it cannot just be financial solidarity, which people on the ground need from us. And it means we have to have alliances, like Madam Kore mentioned, that we need to build alliances. So why do we need alliances? In order to have solidarity, in order to give solidarity to each other as comrades who are sharing the same ideology. Because we build alliances with people whom we share the same ideology. What are we fighting for? Why are we fighting? Anyone who believes in our agenda and anyone who is supporting our brand, which we are selling today, those are our alliances. And those are the people, whenever they are down, we should give solidarity to them. And what kind of solidarity can be given? Comrades, just writing a statement means a lot. This lady in India, when they are fighting their struggle, and when they receive a letter from us, it means a lot to them. And when we receive even a letter from them of solidarity, it means a lot. So I say, together with civil society, with trade unionists, I'm a Gender and Social Welfare Secretary of Amalgamated Raw Teachers Union of Zimbabwe. Last week we had female comrades who have been arrested. And on that note, comrades, I want to thank you for all your solidarity messages. The whole of social media was flooded by your messages. And your solidarity worked a lot. It contributed a lot. It put a lot of pressure to this government, to this judiciary system which has been captured already. So if we learn to stand by each other, no matter what, no matter where they come from, that will keep us strong. And also, I want to talk about leading from the front as women. I'm glad a lot of men who came to this platform today were acknowledging Kutimushamu cards. It is all our ideas. It is all our innovations which lead this path to victory one day. We may not be in, for example, I want to mention and acknowledge that all external assemblies are led by men. But that doesn't mean, and I'm glad that these men who are leading this external assembly, they acknowledge the power women have. They acknowledge the ideas women raise. So we really need to lead from front, and we really need to support each other. And above all, I want to put in the idea of acknowledging a person's point of view. There is this label which always come. How can we put a woman leader to lead people when women are always emotional? So their judgments are so delusional. How can we overcome that problem which people think that it is our problem? We can overcome that by being able to acknowledge different points of view of people who bring about, who comments about anything about us. Where are they coming from? What do they have? Which information do they have? Let's learn to be. Hello?
Yeah, just wanted to interject on that conversation you're having. Pretty much sure that Zimbabwean women are working hard to do away with ZANU-PF. in the diaspora, we have so many women, they've done so much and they're being recognized. So it all comes down to maybe Africa recognizing that Zimbabwe, even in their own supportive system, they can come up and say, look, what's happening in Zimbabwe should not be happening, but they remain silent. Right?
Thank you so much, Sandra. Perhaps if you could allow her to just finish off, and then you can always then come through if that is all right. Please allow her to come to finish off.
Thank you, Jessica.
All right, Sandra. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. So if we are able to understand somebody's point of view whenever they raise their points, whenever they raise their comment, whenever they, social media sometimes can be so harsh, and sometimes if we don't understand a person's point of view, we can react sometimes badly, and sometimes it can cause problems. But let's try as women, because I know of all the people on this earth, women, we are given that kind of, I will put it as love, or that social, psychosocial stability, which the other part, like the men do not have. We are so accommodative. Then I want to encourage each other, each one of us here, to have Have we lost more blessing?
Yes, I cannot hear her.
Okay, I think we're just running a little bit behind time, and we had some planned speakers. So at this stage, before we go to Rongai, can I just ask everyone that is coming on, that has requested the mic, to please tell us your donation, how much you wish to donate, or whether you have already donated. Thank you. So Rongai, if you can go ahead, please, and then I'll come back to you, Jessica, to get us going again on the fundraiser. Mongai, please go ahead.
I don't think she's there. But perhaps just for housekeeping, I have 2 DMs of people that are saying that if you could kindly speak in a language we can all understand, which is English. So I think this is for the benefit of people that are taking an interest in the space that we are hosting, and I can actually see that there are quite a lot, and even like a lot of verified accounts that are following, and they're definitely not Zimbabwean. So if we can try and use English for their benefit, that would be great. So maybe just to reiterate and come back to why we're raising money or why we're fundraising, we have a printer that we are looking to buy as the MTC Alliance, but particularly as the Diaspora Affairs. So this is a printer that will be assisting with membership cards. I will say this again, there has been a lot of issues around that, and the party actually, the Treasury General mentioned that we have been outsourcing. I'm sorry, host, if you can just mute your mic, I'm getting feedback. Thank you. And the Treasury General, Honorable Coltart, came last week, and he was saying that we've been outsourcing, and the only way we can break through, because we need to do it in-house. He's saying that if we were to do it in-house, we would need a printer that has the correct security measures, that should be able to meet a certain standard, and this printer is what we are looking to buy. So there is a lot of fundraising. We have fundraised for the PA system, which we all know we have achieved. So we are doing milestone by milestone, right? So at this juncture, we were having men who were coming to support, and we are still hoping that more men can actually support this, because this is actually a women-driven initiative that we are doing, and it would be nice if you can just assist with that. So at this point, I'm going to ask I'm going to ask Sandra. I think you had something to say, and maybe now we can try and keep our contributions short and tight, as the host said, and we can talk about our contribution towards the goal, and then try and give the contribution towards what we feel should be the way forward. Sandra, please come through.
Yes, Jessica, thank you for bringing me on this platform. Just disturbed with what's happening in Zimbabwe. Too difficult for me to even see that our people are being treated differently in South Africa right now. Okay, does the Zimbabwe people do need to be treated like that? No. What is causing this? Who are the people who are doing all this? ZANU-PF. Should everybody be registering to vote against this creature called ZANU-PF? This is what I'm speaking against again, over and over. Zimbabwe can do better. We have intelligent people doing things across the board in the whole world right now. We need ZANU-PF. It's an obstacle. Let people vote against this creature. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think, host, did you have a lineup of people that were to speak? Or has Dr. Wamambo said anything just yet?
No, so I do have a lineup. So there's Rose Maponga, Gladys Meg, Vongai. I don't know if Vongai has come back. She had dropped off. She's here. Vongai, would you like to go ahead, please? Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Patricia. I was having challenges on unmuting the mic, but thank you so much for having me. All protocols observed. Like what the hostess said, my name is Vongai Mofara. I'm a human rights activist. I'm also the Information and Publicity Secretary for Restoration of Human Rights. Women that are also back home. I would want to maybe start with the women that are here in the diaspora. I know it's always said that we are the backbone as far as funding and as far as the economy of Zimbabwe is concerned.
Right. It might look like Vongai is struggling there, but I do know, Jessica, that there was some male allies, I think, that we're going to, donate.
Come in for a minute.
Yes, please, go ahead.
Yes, I've already done my $100 that I pledged earlier. It's already in. And if you allow me to speak for a minute, I will chip in with another $30.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, I just want to reiterate what Jessica was saying. The printing machine that we are trying to buy is more than a printer. It's actually a money printing machine. Like TG Coulter said last time when he came to address us, this machine is a fundraiser unto itself. If you think of it here in the diaspora, if a member joins, they pay $70. So if 1,000 members are going to be mobilized and join the party, that's already over $70,000. So if you look to the return to investment, this machine needs to be bought. We need to buy this machine so that we can actually fundraise using it. We can actually resource our party using it. All this time, the party has been surviving using subscribers or members that have been paying their yearly subscriptions. Any political party survives because of its membership. Members are our all-weather friends. They are there when the party is down, when things are good. The MTC Alliance has survived this far because of the membership, because of the loyal members that donate money, that pay their subscriptions every now and again. So this is actually a fundraiser. The party needs to be paying its workers. The party needs to take care of its day-to-day expenses. We can't go to the citizens. We can't go anywhere and ask for donations so that we can pay our workers. It's money from subscribers. It's money from our membership. And when the membership have done something, the members have paid their $70. They also need something in return, and that's just a car. So let's make sure that let's make it a point that we raise as much money today, and we are able to buy this machine. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. And I think what we are going to ask now is, if you'd like to speak, if you're not on the speaker list, please can you tell us your donation, tell us your pledge, and ask a question, or speak for no more than 2 minutes. So it's going to be 2 minutes, and if you go beyond 2 minutes, we're going to have to I suppose, put a stop to that. So thank you so much. Over to you, Jessica, just to continue on that fundraiser, asking people to pledge.
Thank you so much. But I'm still not particularly sure which order we had, but I will start with the male figures that I see here.
I'm sorry, my sister Jessica, guys, I've been waiting for ages, and Jessica, I told you I made a donation of $100. Please, may I speak? There've been speakers who haven't even donated anything. I don't want to go over the protocol, but please.
Absolutely. Sorry, I had not seen your message. If you sent it in my DM, I haven't opened my DMs. But yeah, please go ahead, Salani. I thought you had spoken earlier.
Oh, bless me. No, I know, my sister. I know. Urumongu, I love you to bits. And I also want to appreciate our host. She's been dealing with me in the DMs. I bet there are a lot of DM messages coming through her side. Bless you guys for what you're doing. The only reason I just came on the platform was to support the work that you're doing, and to also appreciate with a donation, because obviously that's what you're here to do. And my donation has to do with people. You know, a lot of the times we don't get to know the names of people who appreciate women on social media platforms such as Twitter Spaces, and that's all I wanted to do when I put that donation forward. And I'm just going to mention their names. I'm not going to talk too much. I'm just going to appreciate the names of people who've supported myself whenever I'm on Twitter Spaces talking about let's register to vote, that ZANU-PF must go, let's support one another. I believe their names need to be known. So I hope the network is not going to cut me off. I'm praying to God that it doesn't. So I want to thank MDC Alliance, the Leicester branch, for their support. The Servant, we have We Lose Our Fear, D Maps, Nicolette, I Am Unique, Mundau, Jason, Mateu, Greenleaf, Mel C, Shumba, Melvin D, Maji, Majinu, Bling Bling, Mrs. Taffy, Max Dina, Masharukwa, Titus Nau, Leighton T, George T, Tin Chris, Eve Matizo, John Matema, Elisha. We Move is there as well. Remember, these are names that people use on Twitter Spaces, but you need to recognize the people who are fighting for your cause. It's important to do that. Mai Kuku, Zin Beauty, Nick, Victoria, Ziso, Smarters, Natsai, Diamond, Beauty, of course yourself, Jessica, you're a diamond. Hopo Chingono, Tsitsi, Dangerembwa, you are a diamond as well. Netsai, Marova, Leicester Branch, we have Jessica, I mentioned you. I'm going to mention you twice because you are inspirational, my sister. Priscilla O.J., Mai Kita, Pami, Darlington, Sheila, Mr. Prez, Pan-African Kitty, B. Willie. We also have the Villager, Priscilla, Mel C, Lighthouse, Coconut, Jessica, Mambo, Shoshe, I bet that's Chief Shoshe, I know you, Pride, Jairo, John Terry, Shumakadzi, Mati Ryan, I'm Brian, and Remembrance. I'm sorry, please allow me.
600 members.
600 members.
You have 600 members, but I have put a pledge for $100, and I'm going to mention the people who are on the ground who are supporting the cause. It is high time we start appreciating people who are fighting to support women on platforms. So I understand that there's 600 people on this platform, but I could only mention the people who joined, who I am aware of, who support the initiatives that we're doing. If you go on my platform, you see I'm a ZANU-PF anti-ZANU-PF person. I do not support them. I want people to register to vote. I want to support the men and women on the ground.
Hello? Have we lost Salani, Jessica? Do you think?
She is on, but I can't hear her.
Okay, so we've got someone there. I think if we go to the male allies, I think there's an INS. I can see INZ and a doctor, someone there. If they're male allies, if they can make their pledges, and then we can make our way through to the speaker. So we can go to more blessing after that, and then she can finish up and we can go. But can I ask, please, that it's 2 minutes now for the speakers. We can't allow for more than that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for letting me in. I'm in Smakuturu, based in the UK. I've been trying to make a donation. When you say there's a link on the tweet, and I've been looking at the link, it says PA system. So I'm not quite sure if I put someone there, it will go for the cause of the printer. I think Jessica, you replied in my DM that same system, you will correct that. So yeah, that's my contribution, and thank you everybody for what you're doing for the cause. And I'm pledging $50, so I'll put $50 tonight.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you can drop me down now.
Thank you so much. I'm not sure MDCA Carolinas, if you can come through.
So it's doctor. There's someone called Doctor once before MDC. So sure. That's all right. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure. Doctor, please come through. I think it's Dr. Wamambo.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, and I appreciate everybody's contributions here. I was talking to my young sister, based in South Africa, for about a good 2 hours with her, and I can only imagine the love and the humanity, empathy, and also the appreciation that women have, and they carry a lot. And in my family, we lost both parents, and she's been the one that has been the beacon for our family, trying to unite us as much as my mom used to. So I do appreciate women, and also the courage that you sort of impose and exude. So I would appreciate, without putting money where my mouth is, I did donate already $50, and as time goes with more initiatives, I pledge to make the same amount for any initiatives that you have going forward, be it with the printer, be it with the sound system, and whatever initiative, until we get the result we want. And I wanted to encourage, since I have 1 more minute, I would like to encourage that we all talk about alliances, and aptly named so. If we accept and we recognize other people's struggles, not outside of ourselves, not within, we might actually create a network of people that could support us when we are in need. As Zimbabweans, there are people in Congo, there are people in Malawi, there are people in Mozambique, to name a few countries in South Africa. There are people in India, as you had one of our fellow ladies from India, with whom the struggle is real. And in order for us to gain that network that we need, and that alliance we need to actually reach out as well, even in our struggles. And in doing so, we strengthen their struggle and believe God knows that there is some magic that happens, because when they look back to whom they got support from, however little it is, it will give us the boost that will probably provide us that great step towards our own victory. So with that, I hope you reach out to those that are struggling elsewhere and also elsewhere outside of Zimbabwe. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming through. I will allow MDC Alliance coordinators to please go ahead. So I think the space, we should be rounding it off. Host, do you agree with me?
Yes, we should be rounding off at about past, but we've got some planned speakers. So we've got Elena, who was planned to speak. So if she can speak, and I think the focus is now going to be on the fundraiser, as that would like people to come on and tell us their pledge. Thank you. Thank you, Jessica.
All right. Thank you so much. MDC Alliance, Carolina, please go ahead.
You haven't started.
If you could please unmute your mic, we cannot hear you. Okay, so I don't think he or she can hear me. So maybe we can go to Helen and probably if anyone else would like to make their contribution and their donation, please feel free to request the mic. We will gladly give it to you. At this particular point, we will just be accepting and talking about the donation which the donations which we need to make so that we can achieve the goal to buy our mission. So Helen, if you can go ahead.
Is it Helen or Helena? If it's Helena, the UK chairperson, she's gone. She's gone to work. You send me a message.
Okay, she's here right now. She requested the mic. Has she left?
No. I'm not sure. Maybe she's just listening. Huh? Hello?
We can hear you, Helena.
Helen. Helen, it's Gladys. Oh, Helen Mac.
Oh, Helen, go on then, Gladys.
Okay, dear. I'm well known as Gladys. The Helen is my baptism name, or anyway, it's the one I'm using on Twitter. My name is Gladys Helen Mac. I'm the Vice Organizing Secretary for UK and Ireland Women's Assembly. My contributions comes as this. 90% of people living in diaspora are asylum seekers and refugees who became such because of ZANU-PF's bad and cruel governance. Of this 90%, more than 40% are women. I would like to believe that Zimbabwean women, known for our hard working and focus and caring, we are all geared to achieve change in Zimbabwe and then go back home. I personally am very active on the Facebook, social media. That's where I am very active in this mobilizing a register to vote. Encouraging we other ladies within the province through our branches and through the Women's Assembly on WhatsApp platforms is what we are doing. Provincially, our 5 district chairs came up together and initiated an exercise whereby one commits to contributing whatever amount possible monthly since September 2021 to 2023 elections until then. And so far, more than 5,000 pounds has been raised. So to all women in diaspora, I strongly encourage to get involved and to do your part. Our part was scratched from the government's funding. So in order to fulfill our hopes for a better and livable Zimbabwe under President Nelson Chamisa, we must immensely get involved in these fundraising activities. As for today, I've contributed through Mr. Washington Ali $50 US. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Helen. Yes, MTC Alliance Carolinas, please go ahead. We could not hear you. If you can unmute your mic. MTC Alliance Carolinas, I think you are not, your mic is still off. Please, if you can turn it on and speak. I don't think we can hear you. If you can maybe exit and come back, that should work. Washington, thank you so much for joining. Is there something you'd like to say to us?
Just a quick word. Protocols observed. Thank you, all the leadership, all the supporters, and all the people who are working behind the scenes. I think there's about 469 people that are on this space, and in about 10 minutes, the space is going to be closing. Can I please ask that we try and contribute even at $20, even at $10? We are trying to raise this money so that we can be able to do something as MDC. And you and me, like you had our fellow leader make it talking, we are on our own as a party. We do not have anybody to assist. So it's you and me. And you and me who are here, if we can find somewhere in your heart and put your hand in your pocket and donate through the link that we have, $10, $20, it will go a long way. I think the last time we checked on the balance, it was 1,300 and something. And there's so many of us that we can do better than that. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Washington. Perhaps over to you, our host, if you'd like to come through.
Yes, thank you so much. And I think that what Washington just said is really important, is that because of the current situation in Zimbabwe, the MDC Alliance party does not have access to the political parties' funds. So, there's a pot of money that political parties should have access to, but in a way, and to deter the movement, in a way to ensure that there is no genuine opposition in the country. We have not had access to that funding. And so we are the funders of the party. And I think that is really, really important. So I can see about 488, so including myself, 489 individuals here. And I know that some of you have already donated, so thank you very much for that. This donation is not going to stop now when this space finishes, but it's going to continue, and we're going to come back again to this at some point in the future. And so what we would ask is that if we're able to donate $1, $2, every little helps. And so we just want to thank you in advance for everyone that is going to donate. And I think that there were a couple of people that wanted to speak, but I think I'm just going to give you 1 minute each, because I would like our Vice President, Honorable Karenyi Kore, to give us the closing remarks. And so if I can ask you, Beauty, please, just for a minute. And then from her, I think More Blessing wanted to finish off. But please, if I can ask you to respect that. And I really apologize for giving you that short time. Thank you.
Thank you, host. Thank you, everybody who's here, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. Good evening, my leaders, and good evening, every other fellow Zimbabwean. I just wanted to say that the importance of this machine. Why is it important? The importance is for the person who holds the card. Why is it important for the person who holds the card? It's because that card gives you a voice within the party, a voice to change things that you want to see changed, a voice to be part of the mobilization and communication cycles of the party. So that is the importance of being a member of the MDC. I know we have spoken about why the party needs people to be members, but we've not spoken about why people should be members of the party. The reason why you should be a member of the party is because you join the movement, you join the democratic movement, the movement to change Zimbabwe, because there is no other party that can change Zimbabwe in this current situation that we are in. Zimbabwe is not a democratic space, and therefore people are not getting their voice heard. And MDC Alliance is the voice for the voiceless. And if you become a party member, you can start speaking the voice of change and walking among other change movers and getting the change that you need. So that is why you need to be a party member, because your membership allows you to unlock the chain of being kept mute. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, beauty. Really appreciate it. And more blessing.
Thank you for this opportunity. I want to thank those who have contributed so far. The last time that we checked on our fundraiser, it was $1,141. And I want to thank Dr. Ranga chipped in another 65 to make today's contribution to $180. Thank you everyone for your contributions, and we can continue contributing even after the Twitter space is closed. And I want to give a big apology to our provincial chair ladies that were scheduled to speak, but were not afforded the chance to speak, unfortunately. On behalf of the North American chair lady who is just dropped now after waiting for 3.5 hours to speak, I want to thank all the women in North America province, because they are contributing a lot towards the development of Zimbabwe. I want to say within the past 2 months, the women have led the Ngapin, the Hakem Komana Dance Challenge, that managed to raise like $3,000 towards the Ngapin, the Hakem Komana, towards the election fund. And recently, they worked with me to raise school fees for children in Zimbabwe. That is last weekend, and we managed to raise about $2,000 towards rural school fees for our children that are struggling. So women in North America are doing quite a lot. They are also complementing twinning efforts. Each branch that's twinning in America, whatever little funds they have, they contribute towards those branches. Like I mentioned before, right now they have a fund that is open, that is going to help towards voter registration. It's not a lot of money, but they are trying their best. And they also support the National Assembly of Women financially and even sharing ideas. So they are doing quite a lot. And once again, my apologies to the chair ladies that were not given the chance to speak. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kore. My sincere apologies. We did put a call out for people to request the mic, and no one came to our DMs. I don't know, Jessica or Barbara, if anyone came to your DMs.
Hello, Patricia.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Hello, I thought when... Okay.
Go ahead, Dr. Kore.
Oh, thank Thank you very much. I had finished, but the fundraiser can never be.
Yeah, Dr. Kore, let's put on my.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, I think people are speaking over each other, and we are not particularly sure who's going first. So I think, more blessing, were you the one who was speaking?
Nine, it was Dr. Kwerere. I think when I realized that she was speaking, I decided to turn off my mic. She was speaking.
That's perfectly fine. If you can just allow her to land her points, and then we'll come to you, and then I think we will need to go to the VP because yes, because at this particular point we are now at 10:30 Zimbabwean time, and I think this space has run for quite a long time. So Dr. Kwerere, please come through.
Thank you very much. I think I said all I wanted to say, and I want again to thank the national leadership for coming to talk to us, and thank everyone for chipping into this fund. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kwerere. More blessing, you can come through, and if you can also keep it to
1 minute. 1 minute, thank you. Yeah, it was Dr. Kwerere who was speaking on my place, so that's why. Yeah. Okay, thank you. I just want to thank you on behalf of Europe Assembly for giving us this opportunity to participate in this program. I just want to alert you ladies, honestly, it's not about contributions, about the topic of the day. So honestly, guys, we cannot demand, the rights because of what we contribute. If we behave like capitalists, it cannot work. I'm just giving you this because we have to identify. Okay, I think she's run out. So what I'm going to do, please can everybody mute themselves? I can see that Kwerere is still on. If you could kindly mute yourself, please. And can I now come to the Vice President, Honorable Karenyi Kore? Please, could you give us the closing remarks and votes of thanks, and then we will close the space. Thank you.
Maybe before the VP comes, I think we need to give our listeners the exact amount that we've raised so far. We have raised 1,392, and if there are people who think we can reach 1,500, they can be doing so whilst the VP is speaking.
Thank you for that, Barbara. Please do go ahead, Vice President. We can see the mic moving.
Okay, go ahead. Thank you. Are you hearing me now?
Yes, we are.
Is it okay?
Yes, please, yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Allow me to thank everyone who participated on this platform. I'm really humbled.
Rekta kuvota ande kunovota hatidi vanozokokota kutuka vamwe vasina kuvota rejista kuvota ande kunovota hatidi vanozokokota kutuka vamwe vasina kuvota kovirezenzi nechitupa changu ndetachek ndapinda tonazi monazi ndoda kunyorejesa masalazi mageto yudzi yakamejesa vemushikashika pamusika vari kutengesa kuti kugokwanisa kuvhota paunoda manya kuzekiwo rejesa kuvhota rejesa kuvhota ande kunovhota hatidi vanozokokota kutuka vamwe vasina kuvhota register kuvhota.
Register to vote and stand with other citizens in voting to be the change our country needs. Stand in solidarity with others to bring dignity into the lives of all Zimbabweans. Here is the list of the ZEC provincial officers. Please phone for free on 08080219 for more information. In Bulawayo Metropolitan Province, the offices are located at number 16 Centenary Court, Windsor Park Building, 16th Avenue, in Famona, Bulawayo. Harare Metropolitan is at 95 Jason Moyo Avenue, 4th floor Cecil House, in Harare. In Manicaland, they can be found at 1st floor, New Government Complex, corner Robert Mugabe and 4th Street in Mutare. In Mashonaland Central, they are located at 2nd floor, Mutunga Gore Building in Bindura. In Mashonaland East, they are located at number 2, 5th Street, Marondera. In Mashonaland West, the address is 78 Robson Manika Drive in Chinoi. Mashingo can be found at number 10, Hellet Street in Mashingo. And for Midlands, the address is 10th Street, ground floor Government Complex in Gweru. Matabeleland North can be found at 16 Centenary Court, Windsor Park Building, 16th Avenue in Famona, Bulawayo. And Matabeleland South is located at 1194 Big Ben Road, Jahunda in Gwanda. Your vote counts.